What's good, chat? So sorry for being late. Some technical difficulties, but what's up? It's just me and KB for right now. Gifted should join us in a few minutes, hopefully. If not, this is gonna be just us two. But KB, how you doing?
I don't know if I can say I'm good. I'd be lying. I don't know, man. For me personally, I'm doing fine. I'm chilling.
Okay.
Can't complain.
Were you
My
up
men,
late with the in season stuff?
my mental is all over the place with this
Yeah.
team, but yeah, we move, man. We move. So all you can really do, chat, is laugh at the end of the day, bro. All you can do is laugh. So you just try to laugh in the pain. You feel me? But I'm good. Just watching this mediocre team play some hoops is it's a bit heavy on my mind, But it is what it is.
Yeah. To be honest, I've been so I don't even know, mentally distraught, or I'm not even sure the word, just bored, I guess, that I've just been trolling people, and it's been fun. I might adopt that as my whole personality, instead of being a Dubs fan. I'm just kidding. But no, it's been tough. A lot of people are throwing hate our way. Gilbert Arenas dropped something about Klay today. I'm sure you saw that. We'll get into that. But it's just like nonstop negativity towards the Dubs. And if anything I've learned from this team is that they will bounce back and they will answer the call. And even if that isn't right now or this season, like, something will change. So I still have hope. It might be less than we started off the season with, but it's been rough. But we did just come out of the in-season tournament. The finals ended last night. Of course, you guys all know the Lakers are the champions. And I do have a theory about this. So I'm excited to dive into that. But KB, I know you lean Lakers. So
I have tweets of her saying I'm a Laker fan tonight, guys. I've
yeah,
seen the tweets.
I'm trolling. People don't
You're
I'm
trolling.
trolling.
Okay.
Yes, because what's the
We
best way
peep game over here, man. That's
what's
interesting. That's
what's the best
interesting,
way to
man.
get interaction? It's to jump on whatever's trending, and so that's what I've been doing because my Dubs haven't been playing. So I was like, why not just troll a little bit, and it's been fun. Bite
Yes,
down,
chat.
gifted should be back. Uh, FIFA, you need to calm down. We're not doing this today. We're not doing this today.
I be standing on
Uh,
business. Haley knows. What you talking about?
Dad, he's trolling me. Uh,
Haliburton over Steph now? We're drunk, guys. Come on. What are
we're
we doing?
we are drunk. Darren, what's good? Just gotta do
We
my
became
thing.
an interaction baiter.
Tank, now your Dub's been getting whopped by my Thunder. Yeah, that's true. And we'll get into all that. But yeah, KB, I want you to kind of, I guess, start out and chat. We'll have some of you guys up here today too. But start me off, was the in-season tournament a success in your eyes?
Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I enjoyed myself. I thought most of the games that I watched was like extremely entertaining. Obviously, like the one game elimination factor just helps it a lot more. If we had like series against some of these teams, I think it would be a lot more boring because
Yeah.
like the one game you have one chance kind of factor brings out like that college feel that like some guys that may not be recognized in terms of being a role player in the NBA or some connected pieces, they
Yeah.
just get to shine more. And it's just interesting because you have to go game by game, like not really on the fly, but then it just each game matters so much more. The only type of pushback I'll say is that don't put it. I ain't gonna lie. Some of the in season tournament don't ever try to put it like the games in the afternoon. Reason being because the Bucks and Pacers was like one of the best games of the in season tournament, but the crowd was so dead. Like it felt like a bubble kind of game, and it was still like really good, but no one was there because it was a random work day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the only people who are going to be there are either A, people who are very successful and just have time, or B, people who just have a bunch of time and they're not successful. So like it was like in between, and there wasn't a lot of people there, pretty much. So like I don't really like that. Also, the court needs to change up. I feel like a simple court with like an in-season tournament logo in the middle just would have been fine. This red and blue with the white, I don't. It was too much. I'm not gonna lie. And even the in-season tournament courts for other teams as well. I feel like it was just a little too much. And yeah, other than that, it was really good. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. It brought out some really good basketball. Hopefully, it helped push some agendas for certain guys that I'm pushing right now. And yeah, I can't really complain, man. I enjoyed it. It was a W. I didn't like it to start, but then Adam Silver he cooked me, child. I'm not gonna lie. Adam Silver cooked me. He was onto something with this, man. What do you think, Haley?
Yeah, no, Adam Silver, he's cooked us all. So on the courts, topic, I agree with you. Let's never see those ugly ass courts again, please and thank you. But I think it was designed to do what it did, is draw attention from even fans who aren't going to watch basketball at this point in the season. It's to draw in eyes and people like, what the heck are they doing? And I think they did that. So yeah, hopefully that's not it doesn't become a tradition. But I guess in my eyes, and we were talking about this with Jay and Fluent on Fluent and Chill, and they were very torn on this topic, but basically we were talking about, is the in-season tournament one, I mean, we could talk about the incentives. Was that enough? Will that change? But is this something you think is going to be valued, like this award? Is this going to be valued more like maybe Eastern Conference Finals championships or Western Conference Finals championships? Or is it going to start to turn into something like the All-Star games where people like they go, it's fun, but it's all about marketing. The players don't even want to be there. You know, it's kind of lost. People have lost interest in the All-Star games. It's gone downhill. Let's be honest. So, where do you think this will be in 5, 10 years, if it's even still going?
I'll be honest with you. I actually think like if I have kids one day, I actually think they're gonna value this. I'll be honest with you. But like for
Okay.
me personally, I'm not going to. Like if someone wins the in-season tournament, mind you, if he goes on an insane stretch, he averages like let's just say, I don't know, Halliburton in the next 4 years goes in the in-season tournament, averages like 36 in the in-season tournament, wins it like multiple times over and over again. I'll be like, yeah, that's cool. But then if he's only doing that while also just being like an average player in the regular season, then I'm gonna look at it and be like, this is cool, but I'm not gonna value that much. I'm still
Yeah.
gonna value basketball the same as I always have, but I feel like when it comes to like the Western Conference MVP, Eastern Conference MVP, in season tournament MVP, and like the award and stuff like that,
Yeah.
later down the line, people are actually gonna start valuing this. It's not gonna be me. I don't think it's gonna be Chill or like someone like Fluent who are just older and watch basketball for a lot longer, so they're just gonna value things differently.
Mhm.
But I think for people who are like really younger and they're getting into watching basketball a lot, they're gonna probably value this in the future and like in the future probably. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not gonna value it because the games literally don't count. Like what AD did yesterday was historic, and it literally didn't count towards anything. Like in terms of like his stats, it doesn't count. So like I'm not finna count it. I can gas it, but I'm not finna count it though. So yeah.
Let's go down that rabbit hole of AD, because I'm a bit of a hater when it comes
A
to
bit.
AD. I'm a hater. I am a certified AD hater. But yesterday, and you guys might like maybe clown me a little bit for this because you're like, oh, it was just, it's in season tournament. It was the Pacers, blah, blah, blah. But to me, it's like this was a high stakes game. Okay, more than any other regular season game. This was a huge platform, and I just think that maybe this was big. I mean, 41 points. Uh, he was the highest scorer on the floor. So I just have, I don't know if I've changed my heart towards AD, but I do think it meant something as far as it goes for him individually, right? I think this was big for AD. And he played 2 good games in a row, so he didn't drop off when the lights were bright. He stood his ground. Yes, he was going against Miles Turner, so we can say that. I know a lot of people are saying that's like saying he, comparing Miles Turner. Miles Turner
No, I'm not gonna say
disappeared.
that. I don't even remember Miles Turner being this bad defensively, Chad. I'll be honest with you. I swear. I thought he was always like a good, decent shot blocker and like interior wise is pretty solid, but I have never seen Miles Turner play that bad defensively in a game in my life. I'll be honest with you. It was
um,
really bad, like all
yeah.
around. But go
No,
finish what you're saying.
no, it was bad. No, this is my theory. I'll drop my theory in a little bit. But yeah, it was good. And yeah, AD Tank absolutely exposed him. So, but the fact that, like you said, this doesn't go towards anything. Nobody's gonna mention this. In fact, most people are pissed off that the Lakers won this. I'll go into my theory in a bit, but yeah, individually, like, is that gonna be initially players like, this was fun, this was the first thing ever, who could have written the story better than LeBron James winning MVP of the season, like, that's great. But down the road, are players even going to want to try? Are they going to care because their stats aren't going towards anything? Like, of any team, the Lakers don't need media attention. I think for the Pacers, this was a great thing because it's showing, get these dudes on TV more, get these dudes more exposure, get these dudes more screen time. We all want to see Tyrese and the rest of the team, but especially Tyrese play more minutes on national television. So yeah, I mean, what are some of the pros that you could take from the in-season tournament and some of the cons aside from like the courts and stuff?
Well, for me, I'll be honest with you, the stat thing is what's interesting to me. Like not counting stats is, I think they're gonna change that. Obviously,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
they had already statistics showing like what people are averaging in the NCAA tournament, just not going into your regular season stats because it's something different.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think it might be changed going forward. I still think it's like the players made it competitive regardless. I think they already knew that like going into it, it's not really going to be counted as much,
Mhm.
but they were really competitive, and I guess to them it didn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
So for the counting stats issue, I think it's probably going to be changed moving forward. Mind you, it's the first one, chat. So I
Yeah.
think tweaks are going to be made to like maximize it, make it better for the following years to come. So yeah, I think that's also important. What was the other part of the question that you asked me?
Yeah. Just some of like the pros and the cons, moving
The
forward.
the cons for me were just like the jerseys and the courts and the timing.
Mhm.
Don't have a game at
Yeah.
2 p.m. or like 5 p.m. on a random weekday. That's just not it.
That was weird.
Also, try to have the game in like in a basketball city. Like Las Vegas really to me isn't a basketball city. Mind you, that finals game was pretty much a home game for LA in my opinion. I literally
Yeah.
like every shot that was made, you heard the cheering. I think they
Yeah.
had like "Let's go Laker" chants during the game, if I'm not
Probably.
mistaken.
I tried to
So
drown
like
it out.
that's crazy. She tweeted she wanted to be a Laker fan by the way, but it's cool though.
Don't expose me.
But nah, I think like having it and like imagine like next year the Sid like Saturday night 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we get a game in Seattle for the in-season tournament final. Like that would be gas, right? Like keep moving move the final to different cities that don't have NBA teams, and this will
I
help the
love that
NBA.
idea.
This would help the NBA in terms of finding out like where to put a next team in the NBA if you want to. Like you put
Yeah.
it in Las Vegas, how did the crowd react? Are they interactive? Like how does the city feel about this? You put in Seattle, let's see how it is. You put in New Mexico, like you got to try new things, and I think that's actually a really good idea for them going forward, just to see like if there's a basketball heavy fan base in different cities. You feel me? So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
love that
think
idea.
that's I think that's like a good idea for them going forward.
Hell yeah. And just to make it clear, all these people saying, like, oh, put a team in Vegas, put a team in Vancouver. Get Seattle their team first. They deserve it over any other place. And then let's move on. But I agree with you. I love that. Kind of like the All-Star games, like move them around to different cities, especially the ones that are, not getting the love from a NBA team. All right, you guys. Anything else from the in-season tournament? You guys can drop in the chat or send us a super chat. But yeah, I think my overall what I walked away with was like it was good. Here's my theory though. I'll drop it here first. And KB, you can totally correct me if I'm wrong. I know you love your Lakers, but
Okay, this is literally the Laker fan right here telling me I love the Lakers, but it's cool
yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah. I can't use that anymore. But okay, so this. This is the script. Okay. And this isn't a conspiracy theory. This is going to happen, people. LeBron James playing some of the best basketball over the last 3 years. You can tell me if you think he's been better this season versus last. It seems like he's just more available, which shows that he's playing better. Um, LeBron goes to win this in-season tournament MVP, right? A lot of people said he would drop off, not a top 10 player. That was me. But he's absolutely hooping, and this Laker team looks pretty lethal. I won't lie. All right, so we go into the postseason. Who knows who they match up with with the first round? Who knows who they match up for the second round? They make it to the Western Conference Finals, and somehow they win. And I think that the best marketability for the in-season tournament is for that team to go and then win the NBA Finals. And I think this is just pointing towards the Lakers are going to win the NBA Finals. I think it's going to happen. I think they want LeBron's career to end on this note, and I also think it's going to maybe make it seem as though the in-season tournament holds more weight, right? Because let's just say a team wins in the in-season tournament. Let's say it was the Pacers. And let's say the Pacers don't even make the playoffs. That's just a bad look. That's not going to want to make media outlets and people who control the narrative want to see the in-season tournament. But I think the best way to continue it and make it seem like it was a ultimate success is for that team to go and win the NBA Finals. What do you think?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't for one. I don't think the
Gifted, what's good?
I'll say this. For one, I don't think the Lakers need any more marketing. You have literally the face of the entire NBA on your team. One. Two, you are the Los Angeles Lakers. Three, you also have another top 10 player on your team. And 4, you're the Lakers. Like, I don't know what to tell you. They don't need any more marketing. They don't need any more. They don't need any more like agenda push. I'll be honest with you. LeBron. I think the Lakers are just a very good team. I think they're clearly the second best team in the West. I don't think, me personally, they're beating the Nuggets if they were to run it back, which is my opinion. So, even if they were to win the NBA Finals after winning the in-season tournament, I think the whole point of the in-season tournament is just to bring more competitiveness to like the fans in terms of actually caring about something early, so it keeps us watching throughout the months. Not for me, I'll watch the NBA regardless, but for like a casual fan. And I think they did a good job of that. Even if the Pacers were to win and he rang it up and they were to not make the playoffs, I think the people will look at the Pacers like, wow. Damn, my voice is cracking up. I think the people will look at the Pacers like, wow, they're a very good and young team. They didn't make the playoffs, but they have a really good potential and like a really high ceiling to be able to go forward, right? And now looking at the Indiana Pacers right now, they just lost the in-season tournament, but now they're like putting out trades like, hey, we're trying to lock in on Hallie. Any team trying to trade out a superstar or trying to rebuild, let us know. We got a couple picks. We got some young pieces that you can have. They're trying to get guys like OG, guys like Pascal. Like they're trying to lock in on Hallie, get some defensively slanted guys, and be able to run these or just make him the franchise corner piece, right? So I just don't agree. I don't really think LeBron needs this championship to kind of like write off anything else. The guy's like 39, doing what he's doing, or about to be 39. Um, yeah. So like I don't really think he really needs that, to be honest with you. And I don't even think they're going to. If they were to, they probably will make the Western Conference Finals. I don't think they're going to beat the Nuggets.
So we're gonna see another Nuggets versus Lakers Western Conference Finals with the
Probably.
Nuggets
Yeah.
coming out of it.
I'll be honest with you, Haley and Gifted and Chat. There's like Lakers are starting to hit this point now. Like they finally hit their stride with their team, and how they look right now. Other than the Nuggets, they just look clearly so much better than everybody else. Like I'll be honest with you right now. I think they look very like substantially better than a lot of teams in the Western Conference.
Okay.
There's still other
That's crazy.
teams. There's still other teams that need to be like also hit that stride for me to like be like, okay, like now I can see who's locked and who's not,
Yeah.
because there's still a bunch of unserious teams, for example us, that are playing right now. So yeah, for how the Lakers look right now, they're definitely to me the second best team in the West. I know people are gonna be like, KB, why are you writing off the Timberwolves, guys? Like we haven't seen them past the first round. It's a very young core. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
sit here and be like, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna lock these guys in the offs. They could be a very good like playoff team, but I'm gonna go with the team that has the veterans and obviously guys who've been proven to go that far. So yeah, that's just me.
Lloyd, no. Gifted, how are you?
Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Everybody good?
I'm chilling, man.
Yeah, we're good. We just covered the in-season tournament. Of course, we want to get your thoughts. I just dropped a theory. The reason I think the Lakers won, I think they obviously won. I'm not saying it was, thrown or anything. I think it was fair and square. But I think the best marketing tactic for the NBA is to see the in-season tournament finalist, then go to the NBA finals and win. I think that there's no better marketing than that. That was my theory. But yeah, what are your thoughts so far? Takeaways from the in-season tournament? Did you agree with the Lakers winning it all? And go into the MVP too, because we didn't really touch on LeBron winning the MVP.
Yeah. Overall, I said this coming in. I wasn't opposed to the idea of there being a in-season tournament in the first place. I didn't think that was a necessarily bad idea. I just didn't think it was necessary because I feel like every year we've seen that talent in the league keeps growing, teams keep getting better. So you're seeing things just, grow each year. So I thought naturally the competition was already going to pick up, especially in the Western Conference with all the moves that happened over the offseason.
Yeah.
But I said I'm down because how it is it's literally regular season games that just count towards it. And then if you make the Final Four, you go to Vegas and all that's good. There's some tweaks that they can add to probably make this a little bit better, but it worked out. And I understand the whole MVP of the tournament thing. It's really based on like how you play throughout the entire instant tournament, and at least in those games, LeBron James was absolutely dominant against the Pelicans. I'm pretty sure he had 30 points in like 23 minutes. He just played really well. So I did feel like since they won, he was going to win it. I thought if the Pacers won, it was probably going to be Tyrese because Tyrese, to his own credit, played phenomenal. My question is, I hope that this tournament MVP does not turn into whoever wins the final game, because I guarantee you there's going to be a point where a team makes it to the finals, they win, but the best player on that team might have clearly not been the best performer for the entire tournament. To me, it's who was the best in all of the games played, despite the fact that they might not have gone on to win. So I don't know exactly how that part of it is going to shape out, but I don't have any issue. I mean, at the end of the day, if you made the if you made the in-season tournament in the first place, you had to play at a good enough level to get in, and you had to play who was in front of you. LA did that, and they dominated just like the Pacers did. So I don't have any issue.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't want to see this, turn into that. I definitely want to see the player that's consistent rewarded, and I do think that was LeBron. But we were talking about Anthony Davis, and I want to hear your thoughts. Does this mean anything for him? Because like KB said, these stats aren't going anywhere. This is just the in-season tournament. It's still new. We're figuring it out, seeing where this goes, right? But I want to know, do you take anything away from AD really showing up and being that second uh option to LeBron and being what we know we can be in this in this type of situation? And do you think we could see this make a comeback in the playoffs? And also somebody in the chat asked, do you think LeBron's going to stay healthy? Because he is playing insane. Like I can't give him enough credit. I troll the Lakers all the time, but LeBron is that dude, and I'm just so grateful we get to continue to see him playing at this level. So, do you think this is just hinting at what we might see in the postseason from them?
Well, first off, I think Anthony Davis played extremely well. He had a monster game. I know the game on paper doesn't count. And by the way, that's another thing that I think they have to improve. I don't get the point of having every other game but the most important game at the end count. It doesn't really make much sense, especially when like you have guys that potentially could get injured in that game, but it just doesn't count towards like the stats or anything. When that's literally the most important game of the tournament, I think that is something that they have to change in some type of way. But yeah, AD's good at basketball, guys. I don't know, like he played very well. I remember telling people that he was the best player on this team, and people laughed at that. Now, granted, I do think this season overall, LeBron James has the body of work to be better than Anthony Davis because he's been more consistent. But the build of this team is still, based upon who Anthony Davis is as a player. Now, the only thing is, I don't want to hype it up too crazy because we also saw this same Lakers team get smacked by the Sixers by like 40 plus points a couple games ago, right? Like, it's important that AD can ride this momentum and keep doing what he's been doing. But LeBron being this good, where he's just easily getting to the rim, finding his shots, passing, playmaking, playing defense, he's doing all the complete things that really cement him as still being like a top 10 player and arguably still a top 5 player. Like, that's the level LeBron is playing at. AD just needs to be able to be consistent in his own right. Darvin Ham will never be consistent, but they have the length and the size to make up for that. So I like what I saw.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see, like, we're literally in December, right? Like, we got a lot of games left. And this, this kind of segues actually into our next point. But we got, 60 something games left, or almost 60 games left in the season. That's a long time to deal with more injuries, to deal with possible trades, to deal with possible major shifts in the West. Like, the West has been interesting already, but there could be a ton of teams that really shift because some teams aren't separated by that much, right? Kind of what we're seeing. And I do love the West because it could change at any moment, and it keeps things interesting. But yeah, I guess I'm curious to see KB last thoughts. Do you think the Lakers are do you think this was good for their chemistry, I guess, to get a win on this level in front of a lot of people? And do you think this changes anybody's opinions on the Lakers, especially on that duo of AD and LeBron? Or is this just the in-season tournament? Nobody really cares. It is what it is. Let's move on.
Nah, I think it changed maybe some opinions. People who are usually stands of AD and LeBron, best duo in the league, yada yada yada. I had
Yeah.
people telling me yesterday LeBron James is the best player in the world. So like, like it is what it is. Honestly, there's always gonna be like the extremely over exaggerated Laker fan or LeBron James and AD stan. They'll gas it up, or the guy who's just hating on them, and then like it's in-season tournaments against the Pacers doesn't really mean anything. My biggest takeaway from this is that, like what Gifted said, you ride this momentum. You have days off. You keep this consistent.
Yeah.
Going forward, you want, like, I agree. When AD is at his best, this team, when AD is the best player on the team or in the game, that's more than likely when this team has actually looked the most dominant. Because when LeBron James had to be the best player for this team countless times, it's a lot more closer, and he has to just basically clean up the mess that the Lakers started, right? Excuse me. And yeah, I feel like AD, when he's the best player on the floor, he's dominant on both ends. We already know what kind of player he is defensively. I think he's the best defensive player in the world, arguably. Um, it just looks a lot more dominant. They look more in control. They look like, even yesterday, the Pacers, while having one of their worst offensive game, probably their worst offensive game of the season, were basically in that game for majority of the game. Like they weren't down by a lot, but the Lakers continue to have control. AD continued to dominate in the paint. AD continued to basically nullify anything that was going on in the restricted area for the Indiana Pacers. So like when he is at his best, offensively and defensively, this team clearly looks a step ahead than a lot of other teams, to me, at least in the Western Conference. And I think they need to just continue to push that going forward, because if AD continues to play, like, not at that level, because that'd be pretty historic, 40 and 20 is a bit crazy, but if he continues to be like a 25-point per game scorer, obviously the defensive impact will always be there. It's AD. Just the level of consistency in terms of being an offensive player, that will also be like fine. I think they look a lot different. And another thing that was underrated about it is that Reeves gave them like almost 30 off the bench. So like
Yeah, he was huge.
Reeves
He was
coming in,
huge.
obviously being able to attack downhill, go at pick and rolls, create, like, draw fouls, get to the basket. They shot terribly from three, guys, chat, and they were still able to pull up like 120. So like they knew the assignment, they did what they had to do, and that's when the Lakers are at their best, when they're actually locked in. When Darvin Ham is not running these four guard lineups, and I don't know, that's when like it starts to get shaky for them. But yeah, to bring it back to the main point, AD needs to be the best player on this team, or has to play like the best player on this team for like about a lot of the series for it to look a lot differently. Because when LeBron has to do it, it's a lot more floor carrying than ceiling carrying, I guess. So that's the difference between AD and LeBron right now, in my opinion.
This is gonna sound like hate, by the way, but I watched this game from opening tip all the way to the end. The Pacers were absolutely in this game, but in the fourth quarter, and this is not hating. This is me highlighting what they're leaning their game on. The free throw disparity for the Lakers was the thing you cannot ignore. And again, this is not me shitting on the Lakers. Listen carefully to what I am saying. Almost every offensive play from the Lakers resulted in a foul. They're just, masters at drawing fouls. There's no one who could guard Anthony Davis. He got to the line. Every time LeBron James went to the basket, for the most part, in the last 7 minutes of the game, they just could not stop fouling him. And every three-pointer that they missed, it felt like a five swing, because I'm like, they're going to foul him again. And they fouled him again. And like the length and the size to make you miss shots, it puts more pressure on your offense to have to be good, because if you don't score, they will get downhill on the other end and get to the free throw line and break up that pace. The Pacers have been good all year long because of the pace that they put teams in, where you have to like outscore them, sure, but when you get to the free throw line, you're breaking up that pace by having a pause in the game. And they had multiple free throws in the fourth quarter alone. So if they're able to lean on that, that's a strength that they can have over other teams.
Well,
Honestly,
that's what they leaned on last postseason, isn't it? The entire way through, until they met with the Nuggets, and that didn't work. That little scheme didn't work anymore, because they met.
Crazy.
Because I'm just being honest, and granted, yesterday I think the end disparity. I think it was pretty equal. It was like,
yeah, it was. I just checked.
39, 35 or something.
35 to 33
33.
in favor
Yeah.
of the thing. At one point, the Pacers were actually just leading in the free throws made and shot attempts. So, honestly, the Pacers were beating them at their own game. And to get this point, I thought the Pacers slowed down for no reason. I understand the whole concept of, if it's a playoff-like game, you need to slow it down, find quality looks. But that's not your offensive style. Like, it's okay to push pace in a playoff setting. That's fine. Get the ball for rebound, get the ball for made basket, and go. Like, that's like, you don't want to keep playing the Lakers and AD and Vando and set defenses the entire time. So, like, pushing the pace will be fine. And another thing that, like, I realized going forward that the Indiana Pacers are going to need, which is pretty ironic because they're a really good historic offense right now. They need more offense. They need another guy, a secondary who actually be able to create shot attempts and actually be a connected
Exactly.
passer. It's actually pretty funny because when Hallie's not on the floor, or even when Hallie's on the floor, and he was getting trapped multiple times, I watched him make really good reads the entire game, but the Pacers were not able to capitalize because they don't have a connective passer. The only connected passer they have is Bruce Brown. And the one time I seen them run a guard to guard screen, which I was asking for the entire time, was Bruce Brown, Tyrese. They drew two. Bruce got the ball, got an easy floater, and it was a quality look. So like there's times in the game where like you're just gonna need a guy who be able to make the pass to the pass. Like for example, like Steph draws 4v3s a lot. Draymond has the ability to get it to a guy like Wiggins on a lob or Looney in the dunker spot or GP2 on a lob or a dunker spot, right? Or Klay in the corner for a three, who if they're even helping off of that, right? So like that's what I'm saying. You need a guy who to be able to make that pass to where the advantage is on the floor. And other than Bruce Brown, they don't really have that. I'm not gonna lie to you. So like they need to find that, and then also defensively, like even though you have a bunch of centers on this team, I feel like they're fake fives. Like they're just like you need more size, more athleticism on the floor. I think Neesmith is like a capable defender. I think Benedict Mathurin can also be a capable POA. It's just you need like a five that's more secure, and they actually had that in I forget his name. It's called I think his last name is Jackson. I forget his actual name, but he was a defensive big in college, and he was actually really good shot blocker, and they didn't play him that game, so it's pretty sad. But yeah, honestly, those are my
Marlo,
takeaways.
do you guys know this dude? Because he is tripping. He
That's
sounds
a
like he
very
has
long
specific-
name. Marlo knows basketball and boxing. It's a very long name.
Come up here and prove it, Marlo. But hey, we're gonna get into it. You can come up. You talk your big talk on here, so
Wait, can
we'll
you
make
talk
sure to
about
get you
that?
back
Actually,
up
no,
here.
no.
But before we get into that, last thing on the Lakers, and then we'll move on. But this tweet from NBA Central came out. It said D'Angelo Russell sent a message to Bruce Brown. He was talking shit all year. Yeah, talking shit all year. Got something to say? Show me on the court. Jokic ain't there for you today. It's different. And this is all coming from D'Angelo Russell, who apparently has some vendetta against Bruce Brown, who ended up winning an NBA championship last season with the Nuggets, pissed off that they couldn't, beat them to get into the finals. But this was D'Lo's stat line yesterday. He played 32 minutes, 0 of 3 from the 3-point line, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, and 13 points. Do you think that's a stat line in 32 minutes of a guy who should be talking shit to Bruce Brown?
So
NBA champion.
So first off, Haley seems very fired up over this. This is funny to me. I'm gonna say this, right?
Okay.
I can understand both sides, okay? From D'Lo's side of things, Bruce Brown was talking all this shit in the offseason, all this. And I guess for him, we're beating you now. There is no star to save you now. How does it feel? But at the same time, it's like while Bruce Brown had Jokic and Jamal, Bruce Brown was also hooping the entire playoffs for them, right? Right.
Yeah.
And the funny part is you're saying there's no Jokic to save you. Like you're not playing on a team with LeBron and Anthony Davis. Like I'm not gonna lie, it didn't really match up that well. But I respect the intensity as a competitor to just hold on to that shit because he played hard. I get that his stats weren't great, but he did play super hard in the game early on. They were trying to get the Pacers in foul trouble, and he was a part of that process, even though his stat line wasn't that great. So I respect the intensity as a competitor that he brought. But I'm probably not going to be saying some shit like that personally if I know that I have LeBron James and Anthony Davis on my squad.
What? Does that not totally deter your argument? And also
that is kind of funny.
Line, you're walking into this comment with that stat line? No, I'm good. no. I'm good. KB?
I'm not going to lie to you.
Stand up for D'Lo.
You said my mic is low?
No, I said stand up for D'Lo.
Stand up for D'Lo is crazy.
I thought it was a mid-off. I'm gonna lie to you, bro.
Okay, yeah.
I thought it was such a why she gifted. We have the tweets. Why is she talking about Lakers stand up for D'Lo?
Now we do have the tweets though. On me, we got the tweets. Yeah,
we got the tweets. You can't tell me about being a Laker fan.
That was a lot of effort to troll. Okay, them photoshops was crazy.
It doesn't look like I spend much time on
that. But listen, that was a fat mid-off. I'll be so honest with you, bro. It was D'Lo. We know I think he's a fantastic player. especially for what the Lakers need, the the type of player. He fits that mold, but we know what he is in the offs. So like, I
This
can't
is true.
sit here and be like, oh, D'Lo, we can't wait to see. We know what he's like in the offs. He's with us. He's not with the Lakers. He's with the opposing team. So Bruce Brown actually can talk his shit, even if he lost. Like he can. It doesn't matter. When the stakes were at its highest, when
he showed up.
Played on maximized teams. He was he had more of an impact for his team than you did for yours.
Yeah.
And you can argue that.
And he didn't have to practice shooting after the games and then get in the game and still shoot like shit. He just played well every game.
That's what I'm saying. So like he could talk his shit if he wants to. Now mind you, if D'Lo wants to talk back, that's cool, bro. But 32 minutes to 13 points is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. That is kind of crazy.
I was like, with that style, and I just keep my mouth shut. But D'Lo is an excellent.
And again, Bruce Brown did play 19 minutes and have 4 points. But like, it's just like
it was getting him in foul trouble.
It was mid on mid, bro. It was mid on mid. Apparently, the audio for it, someone has it on Twitter. I think I seen the post. Someone has the audio on Twitter. And apparently Bruce Brown was talking crazy, so I want to see the audio. So like, I'm interested to see what he was saying. But yeah.
We'll dive deeper. But all right, you guys. Well, speaking of
real quick. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I joined late. My question, so have you guys talked about the double standard of the in-season tournament or no?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
We just spoke about our thoughts on it. That's it.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a weird energy here. Like there's some people that say this shit doesn't count, it's Mickey Mouse. But when Devin Booker was choking in this same tournament, they said, look at Devin Booker's stat line in elimination games. And they were adding the in-season tournament to his other playoff blunders. Doesn't that mean, KB, that like you're technically counting this as an elimination game?
Yeah,
which would mean that
I was laughing when niggas were calling it an elimination game.
Right. Yeah.
There's a certain Nuggets fan who pushes that agenda a lot. I'm not gonna say his name because you know who he is, but when his boy was in an elimination game and it was some mid, I ain't see no tweets.
I ain't see no posts. I didn't see no posts. I'm just saying. Like,
bro.
I just don't like the energy. Right. Because listen, right? I promise you, and I'm not a Lakers fan like KB, right? I promise you. If the Pacers had won the in-season tournament, oh my God, the Pacers! So happy to see the Pacers. Wow, they played so hard. They beat the Lakers, the Celtics. Oh my God, in-season tournament, it felt like the playoffs. But now the Lakers won. They celebrated too hard. That shit, Mickey Mouse, all this and all that. My take on it is, if your team wasn't good enough to get into the in-season tournament and you didn't like win your games in that, it's fine. It's also not a championship. Both things can be true. Like, okay, let's just say it counts in terms of they had success in the first in-season tournament. They won their matchups. They played harder than other teams. Cool. It's also not a championship. Both things can be equivalent, but I don't like the thing to where if the Pacers win, they get more credit than the Lakers do. I think that's kind of weird to me.
So you're saying that people are okay. So and how did you view this like before the in-season tournament? Because we all knew if the Lakers won, we'd have this conversation. MJ versus LeBron, blah blah blah. But like a legitimate basketball fan is not going to. That's just Twitter. That's just these little narratives people push to get views and clicks. Nobody actually believes that this stuff matters. Right.
Well, I think it does matter.
It's its own category now. The in-season tournament does not go into postseason. It doesn't matter about the regular. It's its own category now.
It helped me with my agenda, so that's I
see.
What's your agenda?
Look at his ass.
The Halley elimination games will be used. I'm just saying, bro.
But that's such Twitter bait, baby. Like
he's a Twitter guy. He's a Twitter guy.
That's not gonna get you like that's not. But you're not just that. You put on a persona. That's a character you use. But like that's not legitimately in your heart.
No. I don't. Yeah, when I'm talking about Halley elimination games, I'm not actually sitting here believing it. But like,
right.
I'll say in playoff-like settings, I'll call it a playoff-like because it's something similar, but not the actual playoffs. So in a postseason, like it's slowed down.
Yeah,
it's not as fast-paced as a regular season. You're not playing. Teams actually care a little more. So it's something similar to a postseason game. I'll use that and be like as a testament because. For example, when people were talking about Halley, they were saying stuff like, oh, Halley, I don't know how you look like in the half court. I don't know how you look like against some of these better teams in the Eastern Conference. And he played the Bucks. well, shoot, it's really a good defense to be honest with you, but has a really good front court.
That shit is.
He played the Celtics, which was actually a good defense,
Mhm.
and he torched both of these guys. And he played the Lakers. He had his worst scoring game, but I feel like in terms of passing and playmaking, you could argue it's his second best game.
Bro, every
Like-
time Tyrese threw a pass in that game, by the way, they would hold it, not go up, not shoot, attack, close out, do some other shit instead of taking the shot that was there. I saw it so many times. How many blocks did AD have, right? Where Tyrese passes the ball, it's a layup. They don't take it, then they go up, then they get blocked by Anthony
It's not
Davis.
yeah, I seen that too. It's not even that.
Yeah.
It's just Hallie's the only guy on their team to obviously advantage create. And what I mean by that is like he'll create an advantage for your team offensively to be able to score like easier.
Agreed.
But he's also the only person who can get the ball to where the advantage is on the floor. So for example, if there's a high ball screener roll and there's a 4v3 that he created and there's a man rolling to the basket, the screener is rolling. He's the only person who could actually make that pass from wherever he is to that weak side corner. No one else can make that pass, even the roller. So it's like that's become an issue, and that's what got exposed during the Lakers game is that they realized all these short rolls don't really matter because half of these guys are usually just catching the ball to finish whatever Hallie gave them. You
Yeah.
feel me? So
Right.
that's the problem I think was that's the problem for them going forward. I already mentioned this earlier, but
Yeah. And I do think this counts though. Like I think the in-season tournament does matter from the perspective that the players in the games took the game serious. We saw a ton of games during the season tournament feel like playoff vibe atmospheres based on the way guys competed. So it matters. Now, the degree of which it matters, it doesn't matter on the same thing as a championship because obviously there's a playoff run, there's multiple games. You can have one good game, but have 4 stinkers and you're gone. That's obviously a different level. But I think if the players care and they're playing hard and almost every in-season tournament game had that vibe, I think that deserves credit in its own regard. It's just two different things. I don't want to drag it to say, oh, this is the playoffs. It's not. It's single game. So.
And I hope we all can keep that attitude. It's really easy to clown because the Lakers won. I get it. But this is exciting. And it did bring a lot of, it just brought a lot of, I don't know, conversation in a month where it's usually dead. And I love that. Like, it gave us all something to talk about. So we'll see. .com, you're saying 500K is going to make anyone care. Absolutely. That was what it say that doubled some of the, some of those younger guys or, that was their whole salary.
LeBron was the most happy for that money. God, he's a billionaire, and he was.
I'm not. Bron cares about that type of shit for sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's it. Because he's a great example when it comes to that.
And see, it's funny because before this stuff started in the offseason, people were saying 500K. 500K is not going to make the stars want to play, and then every star was trying to hoop. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Nah, Giannis was literally dead saying the rich get richer. Like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
They were being so stingy with
They were being so dead with that. Yeah,
you guys are selfish, bro. That's crazy.
For Haliburton, you guys might be able to. KB, Gibson. I can't remember if we talked about this last week, but I feel like maybe we did. But Haliburton's contract, I feel like you or I looked it up. But what does this mean for Haliburton? Like, obviously, this team isn't that good. I love Haliburton. I want him to succeed. It's kind of like that Luka situation where how long is he going to play on this team until he gets legitimate hub, blah, blah, blah. So what's next for Haliburton? And do you think he'll be on the Pacers for the next, whatever his contract is?
Well, I think what's next, first and foremost, is he is officially the franchise player for the Pacers. I think the trade that happened that took place, I thought that was already signaling that he's going to be like the key piece for them. But based off how he played last year before he got hurt and also right now, I think it's clear that he is the guy. He is their franchise player. They're not going to flip him for other players. They're building with a young guard who is one of the best playmakers in the league. And to me, like, I love Tyrese because he does what Chris Paul and what Westbrook does at the same time, right? Westbrook makes a bunch of like risky, like hard passes, but if they go through, it looks great. But he also turns the ball over a lot, right? Chris Paul makes the really fundamental, not flashy, boring passes that can work and you win. I think Haliburton blends both styles while increasing the pace over and over. It's a unique style of play from his position. I think, though, there's really no rush. I mean, he's super young. He got paid his bag for about 5 years. They're going to try to build a team around Tyrese now. And like KB said, they need to get another advantage creator that's not Haliburton that can make things happen with the ball in their hands and also off. There's a couple guys they can maybe try to get. They have their picks. They have contracts that are considered tradable. So we'll see. I think for Tyrese, it's just a matter of like establishing what this team is. Because again, they haven't made the playoffs yet. Their goal is to be a relevant team in the East and then build up from there. It's going to be some years before they win. And I'm pretty sure Tyrese understood that exactly when he signed that contract because they didn't make the playoffs last year. So it's going to be a process.
I don't know or have experience, but I think maybe being told that when you're about to sign a contract and you're young, like, what does that actually feel like once you realize you're a star? Like, you could be a superstar, yet you're bogged down by not having the tools. Like, I mean, we can name tons of players that feel that way. And I know the money is supposed to make up for that, and they're compensated for that, but I don't know. I hope he gets the opportunity to at least get there. Cause like a Damian Lillard who went his whole career with such skill and talent. And unfortunately, now he's getting the opportunity. But yeah, I don't know. We've seen a lot of players kind of waste their potential in small markets. So, all right, moving on from this, we have almost, I don't know, how many games do we have left? 59, 60?
Something like that. I think we've gone like past what maybe 21 games now, 22.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We're right around there, right around 60
about
games
a fourth
left.
of a season. Yeah.
Yes. And so I want to get your guys' take on this because I kind of felt a certain way about it and my feelings about it, but I understand it at that. All right. Klay Thompson was asked last week about kind of where we're at right now in the season and if he felt bad about it, you know, kind of if he was feeling negative about it, if we have any hope at this point. And Klay kind of rebutted saying, we have 60 games left. Like, why would we need to be worried? We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. And I just wonder, KB, are you the type of person that thinks, is there a better leadership to put up a front and say, we're good, like, we're going to be okay, we'll figure it out, kind of like Steph's doing, but every single post-game interview you see Steph, he seems a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more disheartened, right? You're seeing that energy slowly just fade from his body. And I just wonder, do we need a post game where people are yelling, where people are like, we're pissed, we're not okay, we need to make some moves? Like, do we need to see them demand that? Or are we the type of franchise where we handle stuff behind closed doors in a respectful manner versus other guys we've seen kind of spew it out on the main stage? Where do you think we go from here?
We're definitely behind the scenes type of team. I don't think anyone's gonna come up on a podium and be like, "Yeah, nigga, trade Klay." I don't think that's just not.
No, yeah.
I don't think that's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
Klay saying we're all right, we're gonna be fine is just a lie. I think he's just coping for himself because he's playing like ass. So yeah, there's that. Steph knows his team can't win. I know for a fact he does. He just being delusional because this is guys. And when you've been winning with certain guys your entire career, you just don't want to like face the fact that they're just not the same players. And when I'm saying they, I mean Klay. I'm not talking about Draymond. Draymond's fine. He's always gonna have these CTE moments where he just plays really bad basketball for like 30 seconds, but like, and it costs you games. But Klay just hasn't been that guy. He's not gonna be what he was beforehand, and you need more and you need better. So as currently constructed, we're definitely not winning a championship with this team like that. Like, I had a little bit of hope to start the season, a little bit, but like after seeing these games, bro, like genuinely, we're not competing. Like, we're just.
So your answer is trade Klay?
No, my answer's been trade Klay for like 2 seasons, but like, yeah, the trade Klay. We need to move pieces. We need to get someone like a Laurie would be like genuinely like perfect. Zach LaVine, I wouldn't mind, but then we'll also still need to address like the big situation.
It's not happening.
Honestly,
it's not happening. Let's not even go down there. It's not happening.
No, Gifted just wants to argue. Like, it's all right. Now you just fine.
Okay.
Bro.
All right.
Listen. Hear me out. Let me cook. All right. I just think to answer your question, I think they're coping. I think Steph knows that lineups need to be changed. Like, right now, like in terms of what you can do to fix some situations, I think he knows lineups need to be changed. I think he knows certain guys should be playing a lot more. I think certain guys shouldn't be playing at all. CP3. But yeah, like I think going forward, they know what they need to do. I don't think the Warriors are a dumb organization by any means. They've proven many times to be a very smart organization, make sound decisions before. So to throw them under the mud and be like, oh, this is a terrible organization, yada, yada, yada. would be pretty dumb of me. I think they know what they need to do, and hopefully with this new GM, I keep forgetting his name, Mike Dunleavy, like he's actually able to put his foot down and be like, nah, I'm not like Steph is still a top 5 player in the world, top 3 player wherever you have him. You need to maximize these years. Who cares about the future? Who cares about what we have in the future? I don't know why you're worried about that. You still have a top 3 player in the NBA. You should keep going for more chips and banners. So hopefully he looks at this and be like, nah, I'm not giving out these contracts. I need to get rid of some of these guys. We need a new look. So let's go ahead. Let's go and get it. So I think they know, and I think they're coping just to like make, just so that it doesn't like spill over, because it's already spilling over on like in terms of like how the words are being spoken about right now. It just straight is a dynasty over like every day. So like,
yeah,
if they were to come up on the podium and be like, yeah, changes need to be made, and Steve Kerr already did that, which was kind of crazy. Like he said, yeah, I don't know if I could take this the starting 5 lineup any longer. We're gonna have to make some new changes.
Yeah.
And then boom, like that, people are starting to look at it like, I was getting happy. I was like, damn, I'm about to see Moses Moody starting over Klay. Then I realized Steve Kerr's not gonna do that. But like, yeah, I think they're fronting. They're not gonna. They definitely know what's going on. They're not competing with this lineup.
100%. And Gifted, I like this question. Why does the roster matter if Curry's just going to sit the guys who produce when it matters? And this has just been so frustrating where, just like you said, KB, we start Moses Moody. He's having flashes of just being so good, so consistent, and then he's taken out just for the same gross rotation that Steve Kerr is obsessed with. So we've talked about it. It's like clockwork. We talk about it every week. But yeah, how would you answer this?
Yeah, in terms of the Klay comments, they don't surprise me because the entire team for the entire season has showed no signs of being nervous. Steph says the same default thing in his post games. Draymond also says we're not worried. Kuminga also said we're not worried. Even in the athletic articles with guys that cover the team, they all report about these guys not being worried. And it doesn't matter to me because they also were not worried last year. And we saw how last year went, where it was like a consistent up and down roller coaster of play. And we're kind of seeing that now. We're like, we play super well in some games, and then we have like bad level decision making. In the Portland Trailblazer game, where we literally start scoring 2 points, they score 15. It's like we had 3 days to rest. What happens? We wound up winning the game, but it's like, why are we even in a position to have to dig ourselves out? Where Curry is sitting Kuminga for like the first half. He plays in the third, and then all of a sudden he has 10 points in 6 minutes and we win. Or in the OKC game where we literally have the game won, and then Draymond fouls Chet for 3 free throws. We go to overtime and we lose. I mean, it's just up and down in multiple different spots. I don't expect the players to really show that as much because they keep a lot of those things in-house, but you're supposed to say, I still feel confident. So I'm not really surprised in that. In terms of trades, I keep saying this. Like, to me, I view this year as a year that is a transitional year for Golden State. They're going to see if they're good enough to compete at the highest level in the playoffs, sure, but I just don't view them as a tier 1 team. They have potential to outperform any team in the league. I still believe that. But potential compared to actually doing it for a 7-game series are 2 different things, right? Like, last year, we saw the same team have moments where this looks like the championship team. And then they look like a lottery team, right? I mean, these ebbs and flows are continuing on this season. I haven't seen much consistency from the roster, from the coaching, especially from Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson. But ironically enough, Klay Thompson has picked up his play. Andrew Wiggins hasn't. I haven't seen him play at a consistent higher level. He's getting cooked on defense still. He has these moments where he looks great, where, again, in the same OKC game, Andrew Wiggins literally has 8 points. I remember this verbatim. 3 for 5 in the first quarter. He had 8 points. He finishes the game 4 for 11 with 9 points. And like, it's just not, I'm not seeing the growth from that. So, I mean, it's showing to me right now that Andrew Wiggins probably can't be the second best player on this team again. Maybe hypothetically in the playoffs, he could be that, but I just wouldn't trust that variance. Klay Thompson played well in the OKC game, but he still had times where he was getting burned on defense. That's fair. I just don't think we have a secondary guy that's consistent enough. And if we had another player who could pop or explode, then maybe. But like, I just don't think the roster is good enough.
Zach LaVine.
And really quick,
It's not Zach LaVine.
Really quick, I'm gonna send Marlo. You're talking all this talk in the chat. We'd love to have you come up here and say it and get your point across. Marlo knows basketball and
him. Okay.
So this link is just for Marlo, guys. The rest of you can come on later on. But this is for Marlo. So Marlo, come on up. You want to talk in the chat? Come on up.
What do you say?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Y'all want to see how do we? Oh, that's Tank.
I know Tank. Y'all did hoop Tank. 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 Listen, J Dub was making that same mid-range animation too. Hey, listen, I'm gonna give it to you, bro.
Defensively, SGA is obviously better than Curry. So why is this guy lying saying Curry's a top 3 player today? I said top 3 or 5. If you want to say he's not a top 3 right now, I'm not even gonna get angry. I'm not even gonna be like, oh hell no. But like, Steph averaging is like. What is Steph averaging right now? Like 30 something still on like +9. And he's been. I'll be honest with you. For even a step for a guy who watches Steph, this has been a mediocre start for Steph, and this is This is coasting Steph. 30 on +9. Still a really good playmaker, and has actually become a much better. He's been getting back to his passing habits, like his actual good passing habits too. So yeah, if you want to continue if you want to argue and say Steph isn't currently top 3, that's fine. But still, you can't name me 5 guys who are actually playing better than Steph. That's just not what's going on.
I just want to know if he's actually watched Shea outside of this year or last year. Because a lot of people have these takes about players that they just haven't seen play. Oh, he's playing real hot now, so he's better. Shea's a very good player, but people act like he couldn't play at this level last year, and he did that last year. And then the year before that, he got hurt, but he was still showing trends of reaching this level still. I don't know.
To me, is a top. The thing is, Shea to me is a top.
He's really good.
He's a top 10 player, bro. But he's not better than 5 at the top of it. He's not better than Luka. He's not better than Giannis. He's not better than Jokic. He's not better than Steph, and he's not better than Embiid. Those are my top 5 right now. I teeter between Embiid and KD for the top 5 sometimes, but I have to give it to Embiid because what he's doing right now, especially his improvement as a playmaker and passer.
I really need him not get hurt in the playoffs, KB, because I get so tired of this shit every year, man.
You see what he's doing?
I know. It's actually dominant,
good, bro.
Yeah,
he's been so good. So those 5 guys.
Oh man,
to me the 5 best players in the world.
Bro, Embiid pisses me off so much in this conversation because it's like every regular season he be dominant as hell, and then he get in the playoffs, he get hurt, come back. Plays nowhere near that level, but then it's like he's still top. I'm like, I
can't hold that against him technically for the MVP award, and that's the most great regular season award. But it's like, bro, eventually, it does count against you when you can't complete anything in the postseason. Injuries or not, it's really frustrating. Marlo, you're awfully quiet, so I sent the link again. Definitely jump on if you can. We want to hear. Oh, he's here. Hell yeah, Marlo. He did stand on it.
Okay.
All right. All right, I'm bringing him up. Make sure you can hear.
I'm going to go.
Marlo, good. You came.
What up?
Right.
What up?
All right. So, what is this take on SGA and Steph? Let us know.
Who is my man over here saying that Stephen Curry is a top 3 player today? Today, we're not talking about any past time, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. We talking about today. Who's saying that he's the best a top 3 player today?
KB's saying that.
Okay. Why are you lying to the people?
I'm not. He was literally top 3 last year, arguably too. So actually, no, I don't even argue. He was
top 3.
He was
top 3, right?
He was top 3 player in the world last year. Because he's off to a mid start in 20 games. He's not a top 5 player anymore.
No,
he's not. That'd be pretty bad for me to say that. I'm not gonna lie to you. So
he's not top 3.
Let's start here, Marlo. Who are
your
top 3 right now? Who are your top 3 right now?
So who's your top 5? Actually, don't even say 3.
Top 5. Top 5 right now. Jokic, number 1. Giannis, number 2. I got Ant-Man, number 3 right now, today. Right now, today. SGA. Why you clapping? SGA owned. He owned Stephen Curry twice in 2 games, 2 straight games. Outperformed outperformed him, made him look silly.
Oh
Crossed him,
shit!
made him fall. He tried to
Anthony
hit the
Edwards
game. He
is
tried to
three.
hit the
Chat.
game clinching
Oh, I
three.
love this
He
show.
tried to hit
Oh
the
my
game.
God.
All right. I'm gonna let you talk first.
My bad.
No,
My bad.
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Finish your
I go up
point.
here. I
He
go
was
up here.
talking
I'm
first, guys. Let him
just
finish.
laughing. I'm
Finish,
sorry.
get your point off. It's
Let
fine.
him finish.
We'll be
Go
All
ahead,
right.
bro.
Crossed him, made him fall, and Stephen Curry tried to hit the game-winning three, blocked him. Get that shit out of here. In his face. He's playing defense. And when's the last time Stephen Curry ever played defense? Ever?
Against OKC.
The last
fun.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty.
plays
The last game. What did he do? Who was he guarding?
Anthony
I don't know,
Simons.
but he was playing
I mean,
defense.
they switch
Anthony
all the time.
Simons.
It's not like obviously you don't watch basketball.
it's
If you
crazy.
say
Steph
Steph
actually-
Curry doesn't play defense.
That's
Obviously,
actually
it's
a
not
really
his
good
half.
defensive possession against SGA, but
Alright,
So I
alright.
want to know why Anthony Edwards is the
Who's
third
better
best
right?
player.
Who's
in the
better
league
right
because-
now? Wait. Who's better defensively, SGA or Stephen Curry?
SGA. SGA's better defensively. Go ahead. That's true.
All right, who's better offensively today?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry is better than SGA offensively today.
Yes.
I can't tell.
I ain't gonna lie. Y'all
I
asking the
can't
wrong
tell.
questions. Can we get to the Anthony Edwards at three?
No, stop. I don't
My
want
man-
I want to get to Anthony Edwards at three,
My
bro.
man-
No. We'll talk
Let's
about,
unpack that. Let's unpack that real quick.
We'll talk about
Are the Warriors
Hold
even in
on.
the play-in? Where has SGA led? Where
Okay,
has
so-
SGA led his team to thus far this season?
So
Where they at?
You're bringing up team stuff now, or why a player?
Where the Warriors at?
You said.
11th.
Right? Hold
I
on.
think, or 12th.
He said Steph is not top 5. So we're talking about comparisons to other players. You're bringing in team things. Let's keep it players, guys. Let's just keep it only players.
What's
Why
the
is
object of the game?
Why is SGA better than Steph Curry offensively?
Hold up, wait. You said I'm bringing up team stuff. What's the object? What is the objective?
Yeah, the objective is to win, but your team also needs to.
Oh,
be
okay.
your
I was just making sure that we was on the same
Your
page.
team also needs to be maximized to win. Clearly, someone else's team is playing at a level where it actually helps their team win more. That's what matters. It's a 5v5 game, bro. So the other four guys
which matters
right?
more, regular season or postseason
So,
to you? I just want to know, really quick, KB. Really quick,
You
KB.
said what?
Postseason.
Marlo, postseason, right?
Postseason.
And last postseason, what did Shea do in the highest moment of his playoff career? What did he do?
Oh, we talking
No,
about
what did he
today.
do
We're
last
not talking
postseason?
about last year.
No, I'm just using that as an
I'm talking
example,
about
right?
today.
He did get injured in that playing game. I understand. He still played at a higher level, but he fell short, and so did his team. And so when we get to this postseason, do you think that same thing is going to happen, or do you really think that SGA and the OKC Thunder are going to go to the second round Western Conference Finals? Do you have him going to the finals? Because if he's the third best player in the entire league, he should definitely at least take them to the Western Conference Finals.
He thinks Ant is
right?
better than SGA, I think.
I didn't say SGA was the third best player.
He said Ant was.
Oh, you said he's the fourth.
I didn't even say that.
Man, let's get to Ant, bro. Don't let this
I
shit
didn't
matter,
even say he
bro.
was the fourth.
Let's get to
I just
Anthony
said-
Edwards,
I just
please.
said that Curry is not top 5.
But you're
I
not
said
giving-
Curry's not
I'll
top
be
5.
honest
I
with
didn't
you.
even
So
say.
it's Jokic,
I said
Giannis,
he's not
Anthony
even
Edwards,
better.
and who? Jokic, Giannis,
Oh,
Anthony
okay.
Edwards.
Giannis, Jokic, Giannis, Anthony Edwards,
Okay.
Luka.
Okay. That's fair. And
SGA, he didn't.
And
that's SGA.
LeBron James.
oh my god.
All right. So
Oh my god. Okay.
can I talk?
LeBron's not better than Stephen Curry this year.
No.
No.
Can I talk?
Wow.
Maybe.
We're talking about a team that's not a playing team. And we're talking about LeBron, who's 39. 39 leading his team to what? What are they? The third or fourth best record?
Okay, yo, Marlo, let me explain something to you real quick, bro. When you bring up player v player comparison, you don't really bring up their teams because team comparisons are a lot different from player comparisons, bro. So when we talk about who's better than who, we don't bring up teams who are better. Because you could also say, well, the Lakers team is clearly better than the Warriors team. They have a lot more depth and their pieces fit a lot better for their superstar. So that would go against your argument. So it doesn't help you bringing up team versus team. That's one. Two.
This is not baseball.
It's five. There's 5 players on the court. They matter. Anyways.
It's not baseball.
Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna just ignore that. Anyways, number 2. SGA being better than Steph offensively. You have yet to explain to me why. The only thing I could sit here and maybe give you is scoring versatility. But in reality, SGA is heavy midi, heavy free throw, heavy drive. That's primarily his thing. Steph is heavy,
bigger
heavy
bag.
What is it? Okay, so scoring versatility, like I said again. So he has maybe more versatility. They both put up relatively the same volume. Steph is not extremely. He's much more.
No, yeah, don't say extremely because
Actually, no,
SGA is hella efficient. SGA is hella efficient too.
He is more efficient than that nigga, and I could comfortably say that because Steph is one.
This is an efficient era. It's not hard to be efficient in this era. There's multiple players that are putting up points that are
KB,
efficient.
why are you wasting so much time? Ask him why Anthony Edwards is better than Shea. You.
Yeah, KB, can we move on? Let's actually attack the point.
Trying to have no conversation
He
about
asked
this
me.
shit.
No. He asked me about.
I'll answer that question without him asking.
He's just trying to.
Number one in the West.
You can talk about
number one in the West. He's led his team to number one in the West.
Let's start there.
Oh, he led
number 3 in the league. You go.
Here, he's leading his team and they number 1. That's why.
Oh, bro.
Like I said, the objective is to win.
Okay,
The
so in that
objective is
case,
to win.
Tatum, Embiid, or actually maybe Porzingis, Embiid, Jokic, and Anthony Edwards should all be the top 4 players. If that's your logic, should that not be the case? The top 4 players on the top 4 teams, boom, top 4. That should be your top 4 list, right?
True.
I got Tatum number 6.
So why is he outside the top 5? He's leading one of the better records in the NBA.
Well, first of all, his record's not the best.
Actually, why is Jokic number 1? Because he's not top 3 right now.
He's not holding as much weight on his team as Anthony Edwards is.
But why is Jokic 1 if they're not even top 3 in the West right now? By that logic, I'm just a little confused because the Nuggets have not looked good. We've seen them lose to the Rockets like 3 times and other teams. Why is Jokic number 1 by that logic? If the objective is to win, why is Jokic 1?
His best running mate hasn't played. That's why. If his best running mate, if his best running mate, I'm talking about his best teammate. If his best teammate had played the majority of the season, of the season, then I would agree. But he hasn't.
Okay.
If Jamal Murray had played most of this season, then they would be number 1 in the West.
Okay. So who's Anthony Edwards' best teammate?
Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay. Who is Shai Gilgeous' best teammate?
Chet.
All right.
So are you saying that Anthony Edwards is better than Luka and Shai because he's winning and they're number 1 right now? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. He's performed the best, and Luka hasn't gone without his best teammate until Kyrie just got injured.
Wait. So Anthony Edwards is performing better than Luka and Shai this season?
Yes, he's leading his team to more wins.
No. Is he performing better than Luka and Shai? Is he playing better? Is he playing better than Luka and Shai? Yes or no this season?
The results have been slightly better.
I'm asking you performance.
No, we're not doing this because you're saying team wins equals individual performance. Like that's just not the case.
Wait. We talking about basketball though. We're not talking about like y'all keep saying the team performance. Like
no, you said that.
Like in basketball, we're not talking about baseball. In baseball, yes, if you're talking about an individual can't carry a team. But in basketball, an individual can. An individual's one player's impact on the game has far more impact than football or basketball or any other team sport. Any other team sport.
Marlo, when there's 10 or 11 people in soccer, when it's 11v11, yes, I could agree because there's double the amount of players, so your impact is going to be lessened. But there's still 4 other players on the basketball court. And again, if you're talking about why another player is better than another player, then you bring up their attributes, their ability to be maximized, their ability to do what they have to do on the basketball court. I don't bring up why Ant is better than SGA and be like, SGA has a better record than Ant, so that's why SGA is better than Ant. It just doesn't make sense at all.
And I think by like all hate aside, I think literally if that's your logic, Luka has to be the best player then in the league because he's playing with less people around him, less tools compared to like Chet, like Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams. Like SGA has a ton of pieces, incredible pieces around him. This team could win a chip in maybe 3 to 5 seasons. Luka is working with a lot less and yet is putting up a lot more. So I think by your case here, what are the Mavs? Third in the West?
I'm pretty sure they're top 3 right now.
Top 3. So I think that in that case, Luka has to be a top 5 player.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
And it shouldn't be by your logic.
Did you say Ant was better than Luka?
I did say Luka was in the top 5.
You said Ant was better than Luka.
Yeah. I mean, they have the best record in the league. He's the best player. He's the best player on the best team in the league.
Better than Luka though?
Does that not have any? That doesn't hold any weight.
Who's the best player on the best team in the league?
You think that
who has the best record in the league?
The Celtics?
Yeah,
who has the best record? Who has the best record in the league?
The best player in the league is?
Who has the best record in the league?
The Timberwolves. But who's the best player on that team?
Anthony Edwards.
So let me ask you this question, genuinely. Who do you like? I actually want you to answer honestly. Who do you think actually had more impact on this team so far? Him or Rudy Gobert? Keep it a stack with me, please.
Anthony Edwards, for sure.
Agree.
Why?
Not Gobert.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
and then y'all staring at why are you staring? Y'all staring the conversation to something totally different.
If you came to me and you said, "Yo, Rudy's 3," I would have looked at you less crazy than Ant.
All right, Marlo. Last point. And then we'll let you go.
All right.
Okay.
Wait, because y'all totally changed the conversation. I said that Curry is not a top. He said Curry is top 3, and Curry is not a top 3 player. A top 3 player in the league. A top 3 player in the league can't come from a team that's 11th in the West. That doesn't make sense.
Question.
Okay.
When Kobe was the 8th seed in that year, and he was doing a lot of floor carrying. Where was he in the NBA? Where was he ranked?
When was Kobe the 8th seed?
The year he played the Phoenix Suns. Was he not 8? Or am I tweaking?
No.
What year? The year that he wasn't 3-1.
They were 7th actually, and actually they weren't.
When Kobe,
wait, and they actually listen. They actually
really quick.
Listen. They had the 6th best record in the West, and he's got Smush Parker and Kwame Brown in his starting lineup, and Luke Walton in his starting lineup, and he got them to the sixth best record in the West in a stacked Western Conference.
So we can both agree. Is this a stacked Western Conference to you? Yes or no? Just answer simply.
Yeah, it's stacked. It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
That's 1. 2. When Russell Westbrook was on the 8th or 7th seed team, where was he ranked in the league for you?
You talking about when he won the MVP?
Yeah, when he wins,
They were not 7th. They weren't 8th. They were 6th.
Okay, they were okay. I guess, bro. So you're telling me I'm gonna go back to this Kobe point. So you're telling me when Kobe was floor carrying, when he was floor carrying this team.
What does that mean?
Like when the team was at its worst and he was doing most of the work.
Okay.
You still had him top 5 in the NBA, right?
He was playing with a bunch of scrubs.
But so
is Steph. What are you talking about?
He's playing with 2 Hall of Famers.
Okay, one that's coming off an injury is not who he used to be, and Draymond, who was suspended and constantly just causes drama. Like Draymond, sure, but Klay Thompson, you cannot call him the same player that he was prior to his
Curry
injury.
has the better. You can't compare that to playing with Smush Parker and Kwame Brown and Luke Walton, Chris Mims, and your starting lineup. That's not a comparison. That's not a fair comparison.
No, I agree with you, but we've also had one of the hardest schedules. What about your Timberwolves? Who have they played? They've played the Nuggets.
It's not my Timberwolves.
I thought
that's not my team. My team is actually the Bucks. But I'm impressed by the Timberwolves because no one expected them to be where they are today.
I agree with you. Even Gifted. He's been on board and he's given them their flowers and I think we all respect the Wolves, but I don't know. Maybe I just haven't personally considered saying Anthony Edwards is the best player in the league. I just don't see him gunning.
I didn't say he was the best player in the league. I said
You
that
said-
Your third best player.
as far
He
as
was the
right
third
now,
best player in the league.
Like,
as
That's
far as
Embiid?
right now,
That's
if
still
you're gonna
incorrect.
pick an MVP,
Over
if you're gonna pick an MVP, why wouldn't he be in that discussion?
I think he should. No, I don't think that's crazy to say. I actually don't think
I
that's
do.
crazy to
I do.
say.
He's not in no damn
That
MVP
is what the
talks.
MVP is. It's the most valuable player on the best team in the league.
Okay, so we don't care about what these players are doing on the floor anymore. It's just,
It's
you're
just team
top
impact.
3.
You're team.
So because you're top 3 and you're averaging 25, you're in MVP talks. We gotta stop this whole conversation. Anthony Edwards is not in MVP talks, bro. This is bad basketball talks right now. You're telling me
We
Anthony
have to
Edwards
stop
is top 3
discrediting
because
winning.
they're the 1 seed? That's not discrediting winning. If you want to tell me with a straight face, Anthony Edwards has performed better than Luka Doncic, you don't know basketball. You might know boxing, but you definitely don't know basketball. I definitely can't say that. I can't say that.
Okay, Marlo.
No one, you know what's crazy? No one's discrediting. Majority
Bro,
of our top
if
5
you
consistent
don't
guys
care
are
about
2,
winning,
I care
get rid
about
of the
winning.
scoreboard.
No, I think winning matters, but not 20 games into the season. I think once
If
we're
you
at
care,
45,
if you cared about
let's
winning,
talk
Kobe
about
would not
it,
be in your
but-
top 5. That's all I'm gonna say. If you cared about winning, Kobe would not be in your top 5.
He got 5 championships. Says he won a lot.
No.
What are you talking about?
In that season, no.
That's 5
no.
championships.
In that season, no. In that season, you would not have Kobe in your top 5 or 3. So it doesn't matter. You're not consistent.
It doesn't matter. Okay,
Marlo, we gotta move on.
All right.
I'm sorry, but appreciate you coming on. We gave us a lot to think about. Okay.
All right. Love you guys.
All right.
Lost in the first
Appreciate
round,
it.
up 3-1,
Bye.
blew a lead. Nah, can't be top 5. There's no way. In his logic,
Why we
there's
be
no
entertaining
way.
bullshit? Why we be entertaining bullshit like that for so long, man?
Stop.
bro.
He said Ant was better than Luka. Like, what we doing?
Wait,
What are
y'all
we
don't think
doing?
Rudy's the best player on that team, though?
I just want to know if we should let's just dig into this a little bit, because I obviously disagree with saying Steph isn't a top 3 player. I don't really care what you say because he has nothing to work with. But at the same time, I'm definitely biased. If you want to say he's out of the top 5 players, I could hear you saying Embiid, Tatum, Jokic. I'm okay. No, we have to step out of our bias here.
No,
We have
even
to.
out of my bias, Jason Tatum is not a better basketball player than Steph. That's
not biased.
That's just not biased. That's just not true.
But here's the thing. I think he was thinking MVP versus a better player. I think his mind was stuck on, because that's basically what he was explaining with Anthony Edwards, the best player on the best team. That's MVP talk.
But he's not the best player on the Timberwolves this season, though. I don't know
It's
where
Rudy
people are.
Gobert. It's Rudy Gobert,
Bro, it's literally been Rudy Gobert and Cat. Anthony Edwards has had his moments, but after Cat started out slow, he started to play at a much higher level, and Anthony Edwards literally has not been playing because of his injury. It's been Cat and Gobert leading that team. And again, despite all that shit, I don't care if you're going to tell me because they've won maybe 4 or 5 more games than the Dallas Mavericks that Anthony Edwards is not a better basketball player than Luka Doncic. I think that's just stupidity. I don't know why the conversation has to even go in that direction if we have to say Anthony Edwards is now better than Shea and Luka because his team's number 1. I think that's really dumb logic, especially when we only have a 20-game sample size to evaluate. What does that mean? Wait, so because Golden State was 6-2 at a point and they were tied for number 1 in the West, Steph was the best player. And now that they've fallen so far, he's now 10, 11. It doesn't make any sense. How about we watch basketball and evaluate what these players do to elevate their team when they're on the court? That's how I would say X or Y player is a better player. Not, they're 1 in the West, he's got to be top 3. Anthony Edwards is not in these talks.
And I just find it really funny how everybody is praising Haliburton for what he's doing right now while he's facilitating a team and he's being the leader and he's, he had a great scoring night. That's exactly what Steph does on a nightly basis in the midst of absolute chaos. And yet we want to tear him down for doing it just because we're 11 seed and we've had suspensions, we've had ejections, we've had players not showing up. We don't even have a second option scorer, but yet we're going to take that out on Steph, even though Steph's doing what he has always done on the same exact level. Why does LeBron get praised for playing at such a high level in his older age? KD gets praised for playing at such a high level in his older age, but Steph doesn't? I don't understand that. It's mind-boggling to me. And this is just the haterade that they've always spewed, but yeah.
That's just listen. Can we never have CTE basketball talks again like that, bro? If someone comes off the microphone and says, I got Jokic, Giannis, Anthony Edwards. The minute you hear Anthony Edwards, one of these things is not like the other, bro. And that's not even disrespect to Ant. It's just, why are we putting Anthony Edwards in Jokic, Giannis talks? Does that make any sense at all to you, Haley, KB? Any remote sense?
No, sir.
So then if someone says that, how can I respect any basketball convo I'm about to have with you if your logic is telling you Anthony Edwards is 3? I don't understand. I don't expect you to know what Shay's doing this year, Brandon.
Showed up when Marlon got on here.
Chat.
It's funny how he was gone the entire time we were talking actual basketball about the in-season tournament, but now he shows up just to troll.
No, that's hilarious.
I don't even know why you come through and like you have nothing positive to say ever. Like your life is just being a troll. Like just be positive. Like get out of your basement and like be chill. Like just have good talks. Like we all love basketball.
What did he say? Wait, what did he say?
We all love basketball. Why do we have to be negative all the time?
What did he say? I want to know I want to know what he said, bro. What did he say? Let me scroll.
He said Towns has been better than Gobert. Towns has shot 50-40 this year. That much is true. He has shot that much. SGA is not top 5.
That is true.
We agree.
I'm sorry. I'll disagree with you, Brandon. I think Rudy Gobert's impact defensively has just been a lot more. It's been clearly the reason as to why they are where they are. Because there's probably stretches last year where Cat's been shooting 50-40 and there weren't.
I mean, Cat barely played last year, so I wouldn't even say that.
No, there's probably not last year, but what I mean, like previous. There's probably a year or somewhere in his career where he had a stretch shooting like this, and it wasn't as impactful as what Rudy Gobert is doing on the defensive end. Like literally, the team is not. There's teams that are not getting rim attempts against Rudy Gobert. Like, the paint is literally locked down completely, and
that's why I said he was the best defender in the league, and you laughed at me like I was crazy.
Well, in a general scheme of things, yeah, but I'm gonna still disagree. I think if you think that he's a DPOY, for sure. No,
listen, it's fine if you disagree.
I think this season, if you want to say he's DPOY or arguably the best player in the world, I'll be like, okay. But in a general scheme of things, I still think AD is just far better than.
Nah, that's fine. I'm just saying, when I brought this up 2 weeks ago, back when we didn't have a big sample.
Generally, bro.
No, I didn't.
On top of that, sample size does matter. Another 2 weeks of basketball, that kind of matters, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All I'm saying is when I said Rudy Gobert's name, you were like, how could you? And now it's like, if you say it, it's okay. I wonder why.
Rudy Gobert, I don't even know. But anyways, AD's still better. That's my whole point.
I said Gobert and Bam.
It don't matter. Listen, we're not going to argue that because we both agree that Rudy Gobert.
I stood on business, shit. Look at my takes.
You did. Yes.
If you want me to say I was wrong, I was wrong. I don't care about saying I was wrong. I don't mind saying that because I know in life I can be wrong at times.
Being the bigger man.
Can be wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Haley funny as shit.
You know what I'm saying? So like, listen, Rudy Gobert is the best player on that team. Clearly, to me, I'm not gonna lie to you. His impact defensively has been outstanding, and it's not even like offensively. He's been pretty sound as well. I think like in the last few games, he's been averaging like 16 or something.
They had Gobert and Jaylen Brown talks, man. Like,
he's been playing insane.
He's been coming through for me on my parlay.
You know what I'm saying? She got angry when I said Haliburton has been better than Curry this season because he hasn't. I'm just
yes, Brandon. I'll be honest. I'm a little bit sensitive. Okay, I'm sorry I lashed out. You do be trolling though, but
no, I can't.
I haven't liked Steph's floor game so far, but that's by Steph's standards, not the league standards.
Yeah, league standards, he's still better than Haliburton.
I will say he's not getting to the rim as much. He's taking way more perimeter-based shots, but he's still being dummy efficient. Yeah.
He's taking more middies, but he's shooting like 47% from mid.
Well, also, the last few games, Steph hasn't been great. He hasn't been great. And,
I can agree.
And I think you guys don't understand, like, you do, but just the momentum lost over, like, barely beating the Trailblazers and then winning, like, losing 4 prior to
very
that.
Bad momentum loss. Yeah.
It's disheartening. This is a really tough time. And so, I don't know. You guys in the chat, I know most of you are haters, and that's okay. But let us know. Do you think the Warriors can pick up some slack, I guess, after this in-season tournament? Are they going to be able to go on some sort of run, or have you guys counted them out for the whole season? Ox, what's good? What's good?
I'm done.
Man.
Okay. Where are you guys at?
Man, listen. At this point, like this shit right now in the season, this is a week-to-week, game-to-game thing for the Warriors. They showed no level of consistency or run for me to think that they will. At this point, they're just trying to be near 500 by the trade deadline. That's really how they're playing basketball right now. I know that some guys are out, but they've had moments where they are eviscerating a team. And then again, all season long, if you tune into the third quarters, in the second half of third quarters, they start dominating No, sorry. They start letting other teams dominate them, and then it's a crapshoot in the fourth quarter for who will win. They've had many competitive games. They haven't been like fully blown out of any game outside of the Suns game, even though our bench did come back great in that game. So they've been there. But I mean, it's a long season. They'll be better. But my thing is, I don't really care too much if they do wind up playing better, because I know the variance of this team. If it comes down to a 7-game series, I'm not going to bet on. So that's kind of where like I'm at. I haven't really changed off of that stance or take ever since the offseason. So that's it for me, really, But I mean, seeing some good things. Kerr needs to fix these rotations, but we've been saying this shit for what, 4 weeks, 5 weeks now? I don't know.
Yeah, since the season. I mean, we had that great little beginning streak, and then we just kind of crashed, and it all crashed when Draymond was out, and we lost to Gary Payton. Now Chris Paul, like it's just gotten bad. But an interesting point I wanted to ask you guys. Let me see. I wrote it down here, but basically, so Jonathan Kuminga came out, and he hasn't been, I think, what we all expected him to be. Still early in the season. That's okay. But there was that period where Draymond was out for the 5 games, and I thought that would be a great opportunity for JK to kind of really rise up and make an impact, and he failed to do that. And now, after this Portland game, he was interviewed, and he basically said, I'm not happy with the minutes I'm getting. And in fact, we saw, I don't know if was that the Portland game where we saw Steve Kerr sub out Klay like 3 minutes into the game, put in Moses Moody, and JK didn't play any of the first.
8 hours of Portland game. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
Sure was.
So there's a few moves that Steve Kerr tried implementing. But I want to know, what are your guys' thoughts on JK and kind of saying, like, I'm not happy with these minutes, when you were given minutes, you're not capitalizing on them. You're not taking advantage of them. You're not showing up. But then in this Portland game, he helped win us this game. He was crucial to the win.
He almost helped us win versus OKC when he had 24 and 12 off the bench. I mean,
yes. And so why does Steve Kerr go into this game saying, JK, you're not playing any of the first half? Do you think that's demoralizing to him? Do you think he had a reason as to why he did that? Is he saving him so he's fresh and ready to come out because we need him in those final minutes when everyone else is gassed? Like, why do we do that?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Haley. Needing to like save a 20-year-old, I don't even know if he's 20, by the way.
Maybe that's the wrong way to like put it. I don't know.
I think Steve Kerr just wants to play guard lineups. I think he's infatuated with Dario at the 5 with 4 guards. He's played many lineups like those, and they've had like really no great success. I just feel like he doesn't know what he wants to do with the players, and he's just like changing it on a game-to-game basis, and it's kind of hurting right now. Because there are matchups where okay, we can see Kuminga will be more impactful in this matchup. He should play way more minutes. If he's playing a team like Portland or OKC as a wing, he would help us a lot. He should play. What did he do in both of those games? Dominated. Like, it's just a matter of like fit and timing for the games to make it make sense. And Curry's struggling. He's even admitted to struggling with that. He doesn't know what his rotation is. And it's only going to get worse, by the way, because when Chris Paul comes back, now he has to count for his minutes and how that all fits in.
Kimmy, you good? I know you hate this Dario, Chris Paul.
Yeah, I'm so like, I'm not gonna lie to you, Chad. I feel like I come on here every week and I repeat the same thing. Like, I don't know what to say anymore, honestly. Yeah. Like, I genuinely don't know what to say. We started off so well. There were so many positives to look at. The rotations were fine. And I knew there was going to be issues going forward. Like, I always knew that CP3 playing lineups in which teams should switch on him in the pick and roll, we're just going to neutralize anything we're trying to get going. And when I'm watching it come to fruition, I'm just getting annoyed because I'm just like, bro, you have someone. I keep prefacing this. I can't even say the word. That's how angry I am. I keep repeating this over and over and over again. You have a guy in B and Brandon. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm just say B pods. You have a guy in B pods who has the ability at a college level, mind you, to be a leading point guard, be able to find guys, play in the pick and roll, has a solid in between game, is a good pull up shooter, is a good off ball shooter. So you have all of these things from B pods, and you know this because the game that you played, the best defensive team in the NBA. The DPOY clearly, and Rudy Gobert, he put up 23 points on 60-something true shooting. Doesn't matter. He was hooping against the best defense in the league. No McDaniels, but still the best defense in the league, right? So you look at B-Pause, you see his what kind of skill set he has. You see how that can fit your team, what kind of player he can become. I understand him learning by CP3 to become a better player. I'm not going to act like CP3 doesn't help improve other young guys. He does. Yeah. But you literally don't have to make him a utility player when playing with CP3. Why is it every time I'm watching him, CP3 is coming up the floor not looking for B-Pods, only looking for Sarge? You have to address that. You have to tell CP you need to get the other guys involved. I don't want to see only Sarge in the pick and roll. 2, even when CP3 is not there, you put in Corey Joseph. Corey Joseph, a guy who legitimately would be the 13th best player on a championship roster. Literally. And you're giving him more leeway and runtime than someone like B-Pods who actually needs it. You value this guy, you give him minutes, you start him and actually put him in place over Kuminga sometimes, but then you don't utilize him properly. Go ahead, Gifton.
I just want to quickly get close to the microphone and just note that versus OKC, Golden State had 30 turnovers. That is the most amount of turnovers a Steph Curry led team since 2013 has ever had in a game. Their high before that is 27. I just want to point out every Warrior had a turnover except one Warrior, and his name would be Corey Joseph. And that is why Steve Kerr plays Corey Joseph, because in his mind, he doesn't turn the ball over despite not doing anything else of relevance.
Okay, so like let's go back to that, right? Yes, he doesn't turn the ball over, but when you're dribbling the piss out the ball for 16 seconds, I consider that a turnover. So yes, he did have turnovers in that game, multiple turnovers at that, because he was leading.
I mean, those are made up turnovers.
Those aren't made up turnovers. You value that too, so stop.
No, he really had 0. He really had 0, though.
Bro. Take a step back from the mic.
I'm just saying when Kerr looked at it, like he looked at the box score and said, "Oh, he had 0. We got to play him like 20 minutes." It makes sense to him, not to me, but to Kerr.
In a Steve Kerr brain, yes.
Anyways, so when I'm watching CP not being these lineups, I'm like, okay, I can see B-Pods at the 1. Nope, you plug in Corey Joseph. Unnecessary plug-in because you just lose size, defense, and offense. So you just you completely leave out, you neglect a young player who needs these kind of minutes. He's gonna thrive. He will thrive because every time he's actually looked to score, it's been a quality possession, even if it results in a miss. That's 1. 2, I don't know why on God's green, beautiful earth, why he keeps continuing to fluctuate Kuminga's minutes. I don't get it. I truly don't understand. You play against Portland, who has who has bigger team, more athletic, younger, fits the mold of what Kuminga should be doing on the floor. You plug him in, he doesn't play for the first half, he struggled. The second half, he comes in, you literally win the game comfortably, kind of, right? You go up against the Clippers, a slow-footed team, you can use some athleticism, you play Kuminga hoops. You go up against the OKC Thunder, he's literally taking Chet, the rookie of the year, the guy who's been amazing defensively for this team, off the dribble, getting to the basket, getting virtually wherever he wanted, playing as the non-spacer on the floor. He's continued to show you time and time again, offensively and defensively, he can help this team be a legitimate threat to help win or bring titles home as a young player. You don't play him, you continue to fluctuate his minutes. It's become annoying at this point, right? Because you're not doing your job as a coach, making the proper decisions, right? That's 2. 3, Moses Moody, who I'm glad you've been actually playing pretty consistently as of late, has still been getting inconsistent minutes. There's no reason why there's games where I should be seeing Klay or Wiggins close over Moody. I'm being serious. Moses Moody has gotten to the point where he actually has the ability to close over both of these guys. Either or if you want to choose. It doesn't really matter. Because both of them have been kind of mid to start the season. Yes, Klay Thompson has picked it up, but we know what Klay is like his entire career. Shitty starts, December through March, amazing player, March through May, terrible. So, like, I don't understand why we continue to gas that. Moses Moody legitimately should be starting over Klay Thompson, in my opinion. I keep Wiggins in because at least defensively, his floor is just a lot better than what Klay's is. That's 3. 4, and the most important and the thing that drives me nuts about Steve Kerr and the Warriors organization, you draft 2 young guys who legitimately, I thought you did an amazing job at the draft. You drafted a guard who can shoot pull-up threes, who can facilitate, who can play in between game, who actually fits what you need in terms of the Warrior system. You drafted a big who's a short roll connected passer, can finish at the basket, is a good lob threat, and defensively has some intangibles to be actually very good for this team. So even though he's small, he still fits the mold of what you can do for this team in terms of versatility and depth. So I actually thought you did a pretty decent job in terms of drafting the caliber of player. But for some reason, to start this year, you have yet to play TJD in the front court at all. You keep going to Dario Saric at the 5, and shout out to Saric because he's been hooping. I'll be honest, he's been playing amazing. But you keep playing him at the 5. You keep playing him at the 5, and I don't understand that because defensively it's not helping. Offensively, he's gonna get outboarded by a lot of these bigs, and it neutralizes what you're trying to do offensively. You have no paint presence. You keep going to Dario Saric post ups, which have been fine, but there's not really an advantage creation to like be there because no one's really like gonna be like, oh, a Saric in the post. Let's get a double team going for Dario Saric. It's not gonna happen. And the most important part is that Dario Saric, guys, is not a 4. I mean, it's not a 5. You keep playing them at a secondary position, and you never play them at the primary. And that is my biggest problem. Play TJD. He needs to be played. He needs more minutes. He needs to be on the floor with someone, even like a CP3, to be able to just get a feel of what's going on. There's no reason why he should be getting all these DMPs. There's no reason. You need athleticism. You need some level of size. You need some level of rebounding. You need some level of defensive presence in the paint. And he can provide you this at a like okay level at least. And you just don't play him. And then you wonder why you're losing against teams that are just outboarding you, outsizing you, and just being bigger than you as well. And you look at Sarge like, hey, man, what am I supposed to do with Sarge at the 5? You have a capable big man on the bench that you signed a 4-year contract to. 2 of them are guaranteed. So you clearly value what he's trying to do, and you don't play him. It's the dumbest logic I've ever seen in my life. And that's why I can't take this team serious. I can't. Because when I see stuff like this, even though my team, in comparison to other teams, is still kind of mid, it just makes it even worse. Us realistically, even though I think we can't beat some of these teams even when we're playing at our best, should be at least a 4 or 5 seed right now. And we're 11th because of stupid decisions. Something needs to change, bro. Like, I've been rambling, but something needs to change, bro.
I just want to say a big shout out to KB because that boy was certainly yapping. He did yap for like 5 or 6 minutes, respect, because he got all of his points out. I'm not gonna yap. I'm just gonna say a couple things. Klay Thompson has been playing better. The spacing is important. Andrew Wiggins has been getting cooked on defense and offensively. He's been nasty to look at. So to me, if you're going to say starting Moody, I think starting Moody over Andrew Wiggins makes way more sense because I'm not seeing the defensive all-NBA version of Andrew Wiggins at all. He's getting blown by quite often, quite a lot. He's also making dumb fouls at times, and Klay at least still gives you floor spacing, especially he's been playing way better with the shot making in the OKC game. He was good for the majority of that game. So to me, that makes more sense. TJD not getting any lick of minutes, despite the fact that when he's had to play in preseason and also during the regular season, has looked solid. And he's an older player. He's not like some freshman out of college. He's played 3 years in college, so he should get some tick. The fact that he's not is very sad. And we know when Chris Paul comes back, it's going to get even harder for him to manage these minutes. Got to figure stuff out. Long season, a lot of changes. Ox, I think that's hilarious. I understand CP3 is a Hall of Fame point guard, but if you're watching the games, it's literally Chris Paul, Dario. It's not that deep. Watch the games. See when Chris Paul comes in the game, you will see it's Chris Paul and Dario 9 times out of 10. No crazy yapping from me, but this Andrew Wiggins shit, like my thoughts of what this team was, I expected Klay to be what he's been. He's been that all the way through. Andrew Wiggins has been shitty, like a different level of shitty. Again, 4 for 11 in a game where you went 3 for 5. You had 8 points in the first quarter. You finished with 9. That means he went the rest of the game scoring 1 point with defense that wasn't really moving anybody because Shea was still getting to his buckets. I'm gonna note that.
Terrible in that first half. The credit. I agree with what you're saying, majority of it, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like as if sorry, 1 second. I'm not gonna sit here and act like as if like Wiggins he's been terrible offensively. I'll agree. 100%. He's been terrible offensively. He had his moments where he looked really good. I just think what he does for a floor defensively is just better for us in terms of like getting stops. Because we just need athleticism and size out there. Klay, mind you, has been better at shooting his open threes. He still takes terrible looks. He still has the inability to find other guys when he's actually advantage creating. And defensively, he's actually been ass the entire season. And it will not continue to get better. I'm not going to sit here and gas the moments where Klay actually makes a short roll pass because it does it 1 out of every 7 possessions. So I'm not gonna like gas that.
Has he
But if you're
not
comparing-
averaged like 20 points over the last 5 games?
That's what
Or
he's doing
am I
right now.
missing?
Yeah, he's been making his open threes. So like I for sure I value that.
I just don't know why you want a floor with Andrew Wiggins
Because
and
defensively, I think
Moody.
his floor is higher, and Moses Moody at the same time has also shown the ability to not make threes at the level of Klay, obviously. but
Bro,
to
have
make
you not
six-
seen Wiggins getting cooked? Like
Wiggins
when
Wiggins
he
is
was getting
far worse
cooked.
than Klay this year, KB. Be honest.
Not far worse. I'm not gonna say. Well,
Nah,
what?
it's first of all, it's a
Honestly,
trash house.
honestly,
At
he's
least
been so
recently.
bad offensively. I think I would say that Andrew Wiggins
Yeah,
hit like
he's not
bro.
even that great defensively.
Bro.
What do you mean? He hasn't been who he used
Bro,
to be.
how do you go 3 for 5 in the first quarter with 8 points and you finish the game 4 for 11,
I
1
watched that
point
Clay's
to
done
the
that
rest of the
though,
game?
too.
I watched that
This-
OKC game with you, bro. I think in the
Okay, so
I think in the second half, Wiggins obviously got worse. But first of all, so did Klay.
Yeah.
Second of all,
So did-
Klay got worse than what did he do in that second
This
half? Gibson?
season, he's
bro.
done. He's
Oh
done.
no. Overall,
I'm talking about in that game. I'm talking.
Yes.
Yes.
No. KB, you yapping right now.
I'm not yapping, bro. There's a
You,
reason why
you
I
are
went back
kind of
to that.
yapping. I'm trying to come in here. You've been yapping a lot. I haven't really been saying much, right? In that OKC game that we sat down and watched, Andrew Wiggins had a hot first quarter. Klay Thompson was making his shots. Klay Thompson finished the game. Was he playing as good as he did in the first half? No. But the level that he played from the first to the second, nowhere near the significant drop off from Andrew Wiggins specifically in the first quarter. And I feel like because you're so like just off the Klay shit that you're just not counting when he's making tougher shots. He made tough shots for the entire game in the OKC game, big threes to keep us in it and take us over it. Andrew Wiggins was not. Moody should have played over Andrew Wiggins if we're being quite honest. The fact that you keep on throwing Klay in this when our best lineups by the numbers have all had Klay in them and how Klay has played recently, I don't understand it. It's literally what I told you before the season. I said Klay's going to play like some shit, y'all. It's going to be very bad. And then in December, January, and February, he's going to play better, but there's still a ceiling. I'm not even saying that Klay is the answer to our problems. Clearly, he's not. But Andrew Wiggins to go from what we thought he was to this is a drastic level under, a drastic level. Defensively, he's not giving you no crazy premium. Offensively, he's been ass. He's also and by the way, if you're going to criticize Klay for not throwing passes, why don't you get on Andrew Wiggins, who's averaging like 1 assist, if that, where he had 6 turnovers in the OKC game? I don't like Klay Thompson's a better passer than Andrew Wiggins as well. Andrew Wiggins is a finisher who's not finishing shit right now. I don't get that. But hey, if you want to gas up his playmaking, by all means, go ahead. I don't know.
Wiggins playmaking?
Yeah, apparently, shit.
No, we're not going to do that. And KB,
I don't know.
I hear you. I know why you're frustrated at Klay. I am too. I hate watching him close games. I think when you bring up that point, yes, let's switch up that lineup. I don't really care who closes. I don't think it should be Klay. I also think it's interesting that Kerr subbed Klay out 3 minutes into the game. I kind of like that. I say give Moses Moody more minutes, give JK more minutes. I'd rather try that route than try with what we've been doing continually. But I also think you have to understand Klay's not getting traded. If anyone's getting traded, it's going to be Wiggins. It might be Kuminga. It might be some of those guys. It's not going to be Klay. Klay's not going anywhere. So we got to stop and we're his fans. Like, we can't keep dragging him down. You don't think these dudes read what we say?
I'm fine. No. I am fine to shit on Klay. That's no issue. I just don't like saying that the logic for playing Andrew Wiggins is his floor defensively when I'm seeing him get cooked and he's not been a better offensive player than Klay this season.
Keep it across the board. If you're gonna shit on Klay, shit on Wiggins. It's that fair because Wiggins has been worse. He's offered up less. I can count on one hand how many good games Wiggins has had on this season. That's how bad he's been. I don't know what's wrong with him either. I have no idea, but I hope they get it figured out. And it's just been bad. So, yeah. So, okay, we're moving into this next week. What do we do? What are we gonna see Steve Kerr do? Is it the same shit, or are we gonna see more minutes from specific players? KB.
Wait, could you repeat that? Sorry, my bad. Could you? Hello?
I said, are we bothering you?
No.
Okay.
It was. I was.
Yeah. No, I got you.
My bad.
No, you're good. Okay, so basically I'm asking, we're going into a new week. A lot of people are saying, are we going to get this win streak? What are we going to do? Are we I guess are we having too high of hopes? And are we going to see Steve Kerr like maybe play some more minutes? Like you said, Moses Moody, JK. Like, what do you want to see Steve Kerr do differently? If you had any wish, like what would you say? Please do this differently.
I should probably say start Moody and make Kuminga's more minutes, like more known. Honestly,
Start
between
Moody
yeah,
for Klay.
it doesn't matter who, Klay or
Okay.
Wiggins. It would make the lineup better in my opinion. Between whoever he takes the place of, so
Okay.
I don't really care. I'd prefer.
I'm not forgetting your ass, but why does it not matter? Doesn't it matter?
Because
Right?
they've both been pretty shitty. That's why.
They have both been
So
I,
whoever he replaces, he just makes it better.
Wait, Gifted, are you saying you would rather have Klay in than Wiggins?
I would rather have Klay in than Wiggins for
I'd
the
preferably
spacing
have
advantages.
I'd preferably have
Wiggins than Klay.
Then yeah, I'd preferably have Klay than Wiggins.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. No. Wait, I'd rather have it'd be Steph, Moses, Wiggins, Draymond,
Okay.
Looney. That's what. So I'd preferably have Wiggins over Klay.
Over
That's
Klay.
what.
So you guys
The reason
are different there,
being
but...
is because one, I think Klay in the second lineup with someone like probably a B pods would just be better for the bench in terms of scoring, and then obviously someone who's just a veteran who can help them in terms of just getting out and run. Klay can also get his shots going more comfortably there. I don't mind him taking his shots with the second unit like that. Thirdly, as much as people shitting on Andrew Wiggins defensively this season, I think he's been bad, but I don't think he's been nearly as bad as what Klay has been. Literally, even in comparison to the last 2 seasons, Klay defensively has literally been like one of the worst defenders I've seen in a very long time. Off ball and on ball, the guy actually stinks. Offensively, I think Wiggins also is very bad. I do agree. But at the same time, I feel like in this lineup in particular, it's more likely for him to get back to similar to where he was than someone like Klay. And that's what I'm leaning towards more. So that's why I would have someone like Wiggins start over Klay Thompson, because his defense legit can only get better from here. I don't even think it's going to be this bad continuing for the rest
That's
of the season.
fair.
But
So
you're
that's just-
so
that's just-
right.
that's-
Where you
that's-
say his ceiling and like the difference maker that Wiggins can be compared to Klay is far
That's
greater.
why
because
I'd bank on that
yeah.
more than me relying on Klay to make tougher shots, to be honest with you. If you want to
But
look for your shots and be more impactful as a scorer and just like and chuck up, then you can do that with the second lineup, but not with the starting lineup. I'm sorry, that's just not gonna happen. So.
I just feel like if our best lineups feature Klay Thompson throughout the majority of them, and Wiggins is not in those lineups,
In terms of what,
and I'm
lineups?
seeing
in terms of what offensive rating?
offensive differential, they're better offensively, and their defense isn't that much of a drop off. And I'm literally seeing Andrew Wiggins like struggle on defense this season. He's had moments where he's looked good, sure, but he's not giving us this high premium on defense. And offensively, he's been a worse player than Klay by far.
I'm watching some of these Thunder possessions where Wiggins is the primary defender on SGA. He's actually been doing like a relatively good job. Just SGA is making a lot of these tough looks. But like I don't know. I think Wiggins has obviously not been to where he was defensively, but I think he's starting to get a little bit overblown because I think he's actually making some strides to like be better defensively. That's why I keep going back to the OKC game where he literally like basically shut down SGA for like a half of basketball, and just SGA started to go on this tough shot making like tangent, and that just happens because he's an elite scorer. So like,
yeah,
I can't just like sit here and be like Andrew Wiggins is shitty defensively.
I'm not blaming Andrew Wiggins for that. I'm just saying he's overall not giving you right. I'm just saying he's not giving you that premium level defensively, and he's being ass offensively. Ass. He's not playmaking. If you're gonna say Klay Thompson can make X or Y read, Andrew Wiggins doesn't make any reads offensively like that. None. I'm seeing plays in the OKC game where he's trying to make skip passes. He's trying to do these things, and he's struggling at a much bigger rate. And more importantly, Klay Thompson is fitting the exact player I thought he would be. He's going to start shitty. He's going to start playing better. They're going to look better. Andrew Wiggins consistently has not had a stretch where it's like, that's the Andrew Wiggins I know. So if we're talking about making changes right now in terms of how things look right now, I'm not talking about ceilings. I'm talking about what I'm seeing right now. And Klay is fitting that mold to me more than Andrew Wiggins. Regardless, it's going to be shitty because you ideally would need both of them to get to where you want to go. But if we're saying that, I have to look at those things. And honestly, KB, I'm super down. It could be next week or whatever. We can literally look at the film together and go through their defensive, offensive possessions. Because Klay and Wiggins collectively have been why we've been so bad. If we're being realistic, both of them have not been consistent.
I just think that it's more likely again for Wiggins to go back to what he was doing. in terms of being a level of defender. So like, I think he can be like the catch and shooting. I think the shooting just being off is I think is a slump.
He's one of the
I
worst
think,
corner shooters in the league right now,
yeah,
bro.
but that's just not who he is as a player, especially for us. So like, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna sit here and be like overblow that at all. Klay being this bad defensively has been a thing for like we have years of sample sizes.
But we also have years of sample size to where in December, January, and February,
Yeah, but if
Klay
someone
becomes
shows
a
you this,
much better basketball player.
yeah,
And
but
has
if
he not
someone,
been that?
yeah, but the gifted. I'm trying to tell you this: if someone is showing you consistency of only being good for this amount of stretch, while another player has been consistently really good for you, but for this time he's been really really bad, I'd probably bank on the guy getting back to where he was more consistent than the other guy just having a 2-month hot streak. I just can't like bank on that. I'm sorry. I'm not saying completely
Okay.
like just giving DMPs. Bro, if you want to put up 20 with the bench lineup, go ahead. I don't care if Klay's taking away shots from B-pods. That's fine. You're a better shot maker than him anyways. Go ahead and do what you want to do in the second lineup. I want quality looks. I want rim touches. I want stuff like that. I have 30 on my team. I don't need you to be shooting hella movement threes. I need someone who actually can recognize a cut. And even though he's been cutting more, that's just not
Finally,
enough.
Jesus Christ.
It's just not enough. I think Moody will cut more. I think even Wiggins will at least crash the offensive glass more. And then defensively, I think Wiggins just with more reps will just become to where he was again. So I'm not banking on Klay, bro. I'm sorry. Like I firmly believe Wiggins will go back to where he was at least defensively, and offensively he'll be okay. And that's enough for you to even make the case for him to be what he is. Because I don't want Klay and Moody out there because you just lose so much athleticism with Wiggs. So like I just can't. And you need that more athleticism and like versatility between those two. Like the defensive coverages we can actually run with Moody and Wiggins out there, you can switch a lot of things now. And it just leaves you to be more like comfortable defensively. So like I just think Wiggins should be starting, Moody should be starting. Let Klay play with B-Pods and Kuminga and TJD and Sarge. I think that lineup there will just allow Klay to just get into a feel of things. And it's not even, and people are gonna be like, oh, this is disrespectful to Klay. He's just not that caliber of player, guys. Like he's just not someone who you can rely on as a secondary for a championship level team. You clearly see that. Look at that. Look at the teams around the NBA. Look at their secondary, and then look at the Warriors secondary. It clearly shows.
We have a secondary right now.
Exactly. It clearly shows a difference in drop off. So that's my hope, right?
I think that's fair. I will say I think don't count. I think Klay can be an integral part to another championship team, but yeah, he's not a second option. Wiggins was that guy, and I don't know what to blame for his drop off. I have no idea. I don't know. People are saying he is lazy once he got paid, and maybe it was something that happened last season. Maybe he's sick. Maybe there's stuff we don't even know going on, but it doesn't matter. You got paid big money to be a crucial piece during Steph's last years with this team, and you're failing, and it needs to be addressed. It needs to be called out, and it's disappointing in every way. So I'm not married to the idea of keeping Wiggins on this team. If we get 35 games into the season and Wiggins has not improved at all, I say trade him. I say trade his contract, get out from under his contract, and get somebody else that actually wants to play for their minutes and actually cares about stepping up to the plate. So I'm sorry. I love Wiggins. I do, but I'm tired of it. Klay's done so much more for us. So I don't feel the same way about Klay. Wiggins gave us one good year. Like that's, and we won a chip from it, but like, I don't know.
To be fair, that was like his only full year with us. Like when he's actually been integrated properly outside of 2021, because like, I don't
count 2021 at all.
So like that's really
yeah.
And I'll be honest, chat, year 2, Wiggins actually looked better than what he did in the championship year. He shot the ball better. He was better defensively. I was talking to Gibson about this. I'm like, yo, legit, Wiggins is making an argument to be like one of the better two-way players in our league. Like
he was
in front of us. Then he just left for 6 months, came back, and just hasn't.
Yeah, so that's what makes me think like, what happened? What if he's sick or something?
He just hasn't been. You can tell when someone just hasn't been playing basketball or like has been working out that often. You can tell.
But I would feel so bad if we like say all this and then he's like, I don't know. What if he's like I don't know. What if he's sick? If he's sick, he's sick.
That's tough, bro. But
then you shouldn't be playing basketball. Like maybe. I don't know. I
I'm not gonna
hope he can come back.
If he says he's sick, okay, he's sick. But there's no report saying that he's sick. He looks healthy to me. He has been playing up to par. That's it. Play Moody. Put Klay on the bench. Don't play CP3. Play TJD. You win games. There you go.
Yeah, I just feel like for me this isn't really rocket science again. Like What Klay Thompson has done this season, again, is not a surprise to me at all whatsoever. I literally said that's what it was going to be. I went into the season thinking Andrew Wiggins would more consistently be a better player than Klay Thompson, because how we won the title was when Andrew Wiggins was that, and Klay could come in and give us high offensive ceilings. But for Wiggins to underperform to this level, where he's averaging like 3 to 4 rebounds a night, where his defense has not been great. He's had moments where he's shown flashes, but it has not been great against the elite of the elite. We haven't seen that from him. And offensively, he's one of the worst players in the association. It doesn't make sense to me. And I just think that he has to figure that out, because I was banking on Wiggins to be consistent, and he hasn't been. It's been 20 games. It's a long season, so maybe he will pick that up. But I expect the Klay Thompson to come in, start like shit, finish his season very strong, and then in the playoffs, it's a question mark. That's who Klay's been his entire career. Defensively, he's not the same. But I still think I've seen moments from Klay even this year where he's played solid defense. It's not consistent, but nothing about this team, especially in Andrew and Klay on both sides, has been consistent. I cannot stand the fact that defenses are not sending to Andrew Wiggins. He's not taking the shots. He's not attacking closeouts. And he's literally producing one extra point for the rest of those quarters, when I'm seeing Klay literally bail us out of so many offensive situations where we're not doing shit. B-Pods is not shooting the ball. He's driving and kicking, and they're just swinging and like settling for threes. And Klay's hitting them now. So, okay, if Klay is still bending the defense from that regard, and Andrew Wiggins is still being super inconsistent, I will keep Klay out there, especially if the numbers are reflecting that Klay Thompson is still in our most positive lineups overall.
So, yeah. Well, we have to jump off now, you guys.
Oh crap! Another thing.
Really
Yeah, what up?
Sorry, Haley.
No,
I
you're
know
good.
we're about to wrap up.
No, you're good.
Another reason why I say keep Wiggins in the lineup is that it would actually help Kuminga's minutes. At least Klay doesn't have to worry about playing with another guard. Or his guard minutes won't be taken away. If you take out Wiggins out of this lineup, Kuminga's damn near getting just DMPs now, because you have someone on the bench who legitimately is going to take, because everyone would agree they still have Wiggins on the floor than Kuminga at times. So, yeah. That's why I would say it would help, because your rotations just would be better. But then also, I'm not accounting that CP3 just has to just not play. Corey Joseph just has to, contract has to be terminated.
Cut him.
I'm
sorry.
You still haven't even used, what's his name?
Garuba. Where the heck has he been?
I actually want to see him play. I'm not going to lie.
He won't play.
He's on a two-way. He is on a two-way, and he hasn't played at all. So
if he plays Garuba over TJD, we're going to have issues, bro.
All right, you guys. Well,
better than Sarge at the 5. But...
we have it's gonna be rough. But it's been fun to at least break it down. Hopefully we can get some like a fire lit under us this week. But it's been tough. So we'll keep the positivity high. And I'm sure check out these two. Follow Gifted Hoops and KB Knows Ball on Twitter. I know they're on Playback, and then I'm Hoops with H with 2 zeros. Follow me on Twitter if you want. I wouldn't, but you could.
Wait, we forgot to do it. We forgot to do what we normally do, guys.
What's that?
We forgot to do our weekly Warriors prediction, bro. Listen, chat, before we wrap it up.
We did forget to do that.
Really quick.
We gotta talk about, hey, what are the Warriors looking like come next week? Because we actually play on Sunday next week, as I'm looking at the schedule. So our next 4 games: at Phoenix, at LA, the Clippers.
No, just kidding.
at Brooklyn, not at Brooklyn. Home game versus Brooklyn. Then we in Portland, and then the Boston boys come to town. No, Boston, sorry, is next Tuesday. So the 4-game stretch is Phoenix, Clippers away games, Brooklyn home game, Portland away game. Those are 4-game stretch. We have a back-to-back on Saturday and Sunday. It's back-to-back versus Brooklyn and Portland. So what is the predictions, guys? Haley, you can go first.
2 for 2 for me. I will win 2, we'll lose 2, and that's being generous. Yeah.
I might go 2 for 2 as well, man. Yeah.
Damn, am I the only one?
Go. Yeah.
I actually think
0 for 4.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. I really like, you know what's crazy? I'm looking at this and I'm like, yo, if we do what we have to actually do in terms of lineup rotations, we
should be 3-1.
We can comfortably actually be 4-0. I'll be honest with you.
That too.
The Phoenix game was where I'm like, I don't know, because they have 2 guys who are capable.
They've been busting our ass all season too.
They've always done.
The Clippers, we play them again, and I'm not gonna lie to you. we have to just play better. Brooklyn, I feel like Brooklyn's the one where it's like you're playing a very sweaty team. A lot of wings, a lot of versatility.
They are sweaty though. They definitely are
right.
sweaty.
I
And then Portland, you just can't lose to them. So like, if you actually do what you need to do, you should be 3-1.
Yeah.
But I'm not even gonna lie, chat. This is the first time I ever did this because usually majority of the weeks I'm like 4-0, 4-0.
Yeah.
We might end up being 1-3 with our only one being Brooklyn. So I'm gonna say
That's a possibility,
yeah.
man.
I'm gonna lock in 1-3. I hope I'm right.
All right,
But,
1-3, and then 2-2 from us too. Yeah. See, we keep it real. We're not too overly biased sometimes, but we
they're
appreciate
Warrior
y'all.
stands. Y'all are so biased.
We try to keep it real, you guys. But we're gonna jump off. Make sure to stay tuned. I think it's the Bulls show next, so make sure to go troll them as much as you troll us.
He said that's a bad take for KB. We can't win, dog.
We can't win, bro. The Clippers are playing well. I never said they weren't. I didn't even bring up the Clippers. I just said we gotta play better against the
we're
Clippers.
out. Bye, you guys.
Peace out, people.
Make sure y'all